force of your bond. A power like life itself, unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
How's it? Hi. This guy is here.
Hello there. Sorry, I didn't even have the screen up, but I know exactly what happened.
Another happy landing.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody.
We haven't seen him in a while, so, you know.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Dyad in the Forest, episode 279. We're about 2 weeks away. Next week is the 1st, right? And then the next week is the week of Rebel Scum Con. We are 2 weeks away from Rebel Scum Con, and we can finally confirm, in a roundabout kind of way, because some messages were kind of lost to the ether. We will be doing our Balance in the Forest panel. So if you guys are attending Rebel Scum Con, or are in the area and have tickets for Saturday, we will be doing our panel on Balance in the Force, a master class on Saturday, panel room B at 4 p.m. Choco, how's it going?
It is going good. It's it's been a heck of a week, but you know, we are on the other side of it. Things are I've just been super busy.
Let's shout out the monsters. Goob says, greetings, exalted ones. That always reads weird, but we appreciate you, Goob. Nemo says, at a baseball game, get ready for Rebel Scum Con. Also react to the Silent Evil trailer. Unfortunately, I watched that already because I'm an RE guy, but would you like to react to that live?
I mean, we could, yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. There's also a new trailer for Lanterns.
Yes. Why don't you go ahead and send me those links so that I can load them up? Oh, you sent me a lot more stuff. Okay. We'll get there when we get there. We'll also be joined by MJ, the Everything GM, for a little bit of a title reveal and announcement for a TDRPG, an itty bitty titty RPG that we are going to be doing, or I will be participating in. So get ready for that. Mark your calendars for, I think, next week, the 1st, Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific will be our first episode on that. Let's see. Obi-Shan Kenobi says, hello there, Dyad Squadron. Shout out to Obi-Shan Kenobi for being a member for, let's see how much, 43 months. Crazy. I can't wait to finally meet y'all in person at Rebel Scum Con. Hello, let's go, Obi-Shan Kenobi. Hopefully we see you at our panel at Saturday, 4 p.m. Hopefully you're not. But we better see you more places. Cub Cost Cantina says Choco looks ellipsis different. I don't know.
Well, thank you.
Is that hat Captain America or Steve Rogers?
This is a Captain America hat. I said what I said.
All right. Goob says, I always see the show segment section saying Finn, and everyone, I think their Star Wars equals Finn news. Oh, Finn's spelled with double N's. Goob. But I feel you. Kenneth Carey says, hello there, everyone. This will be my hot take with Doomsday. There is not enough setup to justify a movie like this, and too many old names with zero plot development to make it make sense. Well, Kenny, if you want to call in to talk about it, you are more than welcome to, but I have a take that will totally reverse your thinking on that.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Craigie Max says, Element, shouldn't you be doing a Grandmaster class? No. The Dyad doesn't have a Grandmaster. We are both lore masters. right? There's no lore Grandmaster.
No, I mean it doesn't. It
That would be
doesn't
Pablo
make any
Hidalgo, right?
sense. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to Pablo.
Eaton says, will you record the panel? I'd love to listen. Yeah, I'll be recording it with my small little mini camera. I think, Choco, before I forget, jot it down in your little memo. Bring your Insta360 so that we can get like a crowd perspective as well. Because I'll have my camera pointed at us. You know what I mean?
Okay, sounds good. Yep. I mean, I was going to do that anyways, but yeah.
Let's see here. New Avatar trailer. Oh my goodness. Is this the...
Yeah, it's a new one. The upcoming that dropped. I want to say 2-3 days ago, and I have not seen that either.
Goodness, man. We're actually in like a... This isn't a content drought at all. We're in the thick of it.
And to the thick of it.
Let's see. The Jedi Order has a Grandmaster. You're right. The Jedi Order does have a Grandmaster. Let's see. Darth Angel, will the Rebel event be live? I don't know if they live stream panels or anything.
Or if they allow it. So that'll be something that we'll have to talk to them about. You know, who knows? Maybe it's something that we could potentially do live, but we might. To be quite honest, it might be better to like have an edited thing that goes up later.
I mean, for sure, that's gonna be our modus. But like, I could theoretically, given the infrastructure, because I know that the Wi-Fi and the internet can be shaky at these types of events. You know, it's a lot of people there. I could technically live stream from my DJI Action Cam, but like I said, with the available infrastructure, I don't know if we would actually have the bandwidth to live stream our panel. But don't worry, I will, as soon as we're done with the panel, I'm bringing my laptop. We'll edit it in the room, in the hotel room, and post it like, you know, right away for you guys to kind of watch during that night. Let's see here. And the hate for Korra has resurrected in the worst of ways. Oh, we're talking about the Avatar anime, right?
Yeah. So the trailer is for the next generation, right? So once Korra dies, we go to the Earth Kingdom, and we have like twin avatars, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly how that's going to work, and I can't wait to. But yeah, Korra hate is always around, and it's always stupid.
I mean,
it's yeah.
I think we're fortunate during our time to just be around a lot of hate. Sorry, unfortunate. Speaking of, you know, what we were just talking about, Avengers. Like, there's nothing really there for anyone to latch on to, except some people have just like a really weird and odd hang up over Mystique's outfit.
Why?
And that's the basis for the flop watch happening. I don't know.
I have not seen that, but I have not gone on like Twitter in months until like 20 minutes ago to see what stuff has popped up for Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a stitch on it, but it really is one of the weirdest and single most dumbest things to kind of crash out over. It really is like on the scale of like, man, this whole movie was ruined because the knife disappeared in the throne room. That type of stuff, right? It's just kind of like you're at that point, you're hunting. You're looking for something to justify, you know, being a contrarian about your hype for this movie. But yeah, I'll do a stitch on it. But the main complaint is that Mystique's outfit is like an outfit, and it's not just like a satin white dress like in the comics, right? They made it kind of like the Deadpool, like, you know how all suits are kind of like like Kevlarized a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were
Okay.
like, why is it such a problem for female heroes to be defined by their sexiness? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're reading, but that's not... Mystique's not defined by her sexiness. Also...
Oh,
man-
that's why? Because she wasn't hot enough anymore?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What? Is Rebecca Romaine? What is happening? Okay.
I think I broke Choco.
No, I just, yes.
Well, my
Yes,
first
you
response
have.
to that was like, 90% of the time she's going to be someone else. Like, why do we care about this? We're going to see her. Oh, look, it's Mystique. And then she turns into someone else. Like, that's the thing.
Also, I don't know. Maybe I'm just built different. People find Mystique hot?
I do.
Okay.
In all of her blue glory.
You know, I'm sorry. Rebecca Romaine, yes, I always did. Never Jennifer Lawrence. Like, not once in any of those films. No movement in the boneyard.
I agree. That was my one caveat. I was drinking and I was like, I agree. Yeah, there's something about how Jennifer Lawrence kind of played her. It was weird. Can't quite put my finger on it, but you know, I've always thought Mystique from the comics, and as well as like X-Men '97, like back in the day when I grew up with the X-Men, I always thought, like, just because it was like a form-fitting like satin dress, like there's nothing in, like, you know, you kind of like imagine, dang, no underwear. But
I don't know. I was always just like, it's weird texture. I don't know, man.
Wow, I almost had like a freaking Woody Woodpecker laugh there. All right, our first call-in is from someone named Jimmy Schmidt. Jimmy Schmidt, Jimmy. Right? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you guys. Can you hear me?
How's it going?
Yep.
Welcome to the stream, Jimmy Schmidt, Jimmy.
Ha ha ha.
I forget where that's from. Wait.
Crap, what is that? Give me a second. Isn't that from Office Space?
No. It was like a movie where like they were trying to like pretend to be someone else, and they were like, "What's your name?" And then they both said like Jimmy, and then the other one said Schmidt, and then they're like, and then they like traded. It's like one of those like things. Schmidt, Jimmy Schmidt, Jimmy Schmidt. What movie was that? Does the monsters know? Oh my gosh.
No idea what you're talking about.
It sounds familiar, but I swear that sounds like that would be something from Office Space.
Oh no, it was from House Guest. With Sinbad, and then so like
Oh God!
there were like the mafia men going into the
Yeah.
to the country club, and they're like, and who would be your sponsors? It's like the Jim Smiths.
I know not a lot of people like him, but I loved Sinbad.
Oh,
Sinbad.
no, he was great doing what he did at the time. You know.
Right?
Spooky
You
said
know,
he
as
likes
comedy
the Jennifer
changes and
Lawrence
evolves.
version.
Who?
Okay.
The Jennifer
By
Lawrence
the
version.
way, I wasn't talking about whether or not I liked the version. I was talking about my personal thoughts on the attractiveness of the version.
Yeah. That's what
But to
we
be
would
fair, I didn't like that version either. so I don't know why I'm splitting hairs here.
I caught a little bit of what you guys were discussing about the whole hate on Mystique. That's just misogyny to the highest level. People are finding the smallest degrees to actually hate on this film in that way. No, that is becoming stupid. Just like with the whole Korra discussion, it is all misogyny deep down. That's the end of the debate.
Yeah. All right, really quick. Can you guys hear this?
Which of our members?
Well, actually, don't do the trailer just yet. I'll have to drop out for a quick moment. I'll be right back.
I'm not doing the trailer, but I was doing.
Oh no!
I was doing the thing from the.
Which trailer?
I don't know. We'll load it up when we get there. But
okay.
Can you hear Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, chat. This is what I was like. This is what I was fumbling around for. I'm gonna try to. There. It's not the Jimmy Schmitz. It's the Miller Schmitz. All right. Here we go.
Hello, may we help you?
No, we're just looking around.
Were you considering membership?
Yeah, that's right. Members. We're gonna be members.
Which of our members would be your sponsors?
The Millers.
Smiths.
Mm-hmm. Miller Smiths. Miller Smiths.
Oh, so you're acquainted with the Miller Smiths?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well,
Oh my gosh, that brings back so many memories.
Classic 90s, man. Classic 90s.
Let's see here. I like the J-Law version in Days of Future Past. That's about it. I liked her in First Class. I mean that was like kind of like the first time I saw her as Mystique. There was nothing really. I mean, it was probably the most authentic version of Mystique that was all about her identity as a mutant and the pride. Whereas in later versions, she's like, nah, man, I'm like all about my human form.
That's the funny thing. Even though, yes, Jessica Romaine was absolutely gorgeous in that blue attire, there was nothing to her. There was no real character development. She was just a minion.
She was,
which is really sad because, as everybody who grew up with like the '97, and I'm not talking X-Men '97, I'm talking about the original X-Men series. She had a solid background, a solid story, character development, the whole 9 yards. So seeing her the first time on the screen was kind of disheartening, just being a background extra, a pretty face, if you will.
No, I agree. Actually, the thing that they did with Mystique, in the original X-Men live action, was actually just kind of like put her there, as who she is. Like she didn't have a backstory, but they put her there with the backstory, right? Because she was always about espionage, infiltration, deception. So we didn't get any of that exposition in the movie, but she was like there, and then Magneto's like, do all of this deceptive things, and then she does it, and then whatever, that we accept it. We got another caller.
I see that.
How's it going, Gage? What do you want to say as I get another drink?
Hello. I was just going to chime in for the Avengers React mainly. But I dig Mystique in general. She's really good in the cartoon, but I think almost every character in that cartoon is kind of their most heightened version.
Facts.
Which family would be your sponsor for this episode?
Which mutant family, or?
No, I was just trying to call back to the Miller Schmitz.
Oh.
Did I miss anything? I was getting another drink.
No, I was just saying that I think X-Men '97 is kind of the peak of those characters, usually. Like they portray them all extremely well and give them
Yeah.
all good roles, make them all impactful, type thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that we are kind of on the cusp of getting our first true Marvel live-action X-Men, though. Like, and it
that's
goes
where
it goes into my take.
And that's where I'm going to definitely segue into the major conversation on why I feel Doomsday is not relevant.
Oh, it definitely is.
No, here's many reasons why. One, a lot of the major players in the original Avengers, those who took up the mantle, if you will, are not significant enough to do any justification. Doom himself, being Robert Downey Jr.'s version, only had one quick appearance at an end scene.
Wait, can you hold this thought until Choco gets back? I want him to
Okay.
hear this.
Yeah. No. I'll wait.
Gage, did you call in specifically to talk about something, or did you want to just kind of like chill?
Just wanted to chill a little bit.
Cool. Let's see. Eden Black says, "Dude, we're still copying the Ray as the Mary Sue nuffies, as if it's not the most tepid take on the internet. It's the weakest take because the people that usually inherit the Mary Sue argument also complain that everything she does is weak, and you're like, what do you want?"
Yeah.
She's bad at being a lightsaber duelist. Oh, but she's too OP. What do you want?
I think those movies do a pretty good job of they balance out. Anytime she does something good, it's usually with good reason. Like beating Kylo in Force Awakens, he's shot. You get to Episode 9, she has a rematch with Kylo, he destroys her until Leia interrupts. But
no, I mean, I think all things being equal, the portrayal of Rey is pretty mundane, or rather, kind of middling. Like throughout, there's not really anything. When people complain about her being an expert pilot, she only flies the X-wing, not the X-wing, the Millennium Falcon, like once or twice. No, once, because Chewie's flying it in The Last Jedi.
Yep.
She doesn't win a lightsaber duel without any outside help. Her best force feat is not under duress, just kind of standing there lifting all of those boulders. And if we are to count the one with Palpatine, then that is canonically, according to the Timeline's book, using all of the power of the Jedi. So
yeah, that's the one with the most help, I would say.
yeah.
Totally.
Did you guys see the new book announcement from San Diego Comic-Con?
Is it Quinn Crossroads?
Yeah.
Is
So,
that
yeah,
the one
I-
with the Doloritos? Wait, this is a British accent. I'm not supposed to say Doloritos. Is that one with the sterling pounds? I'm just kidding.
Where in Britain are you from?
Hi, I'm from Manchester. Right?
You could-
There's a lot of wins in Manchester.
Whew. Anyways, what did I miss from these handsome gentlemen here?
Not much. I asked them to hold their tongues until you got back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so my little brother is going to Comic-Con tomorrow, and he needed a lightsaber, so I'm letting him borrow.
Before I
the
concur
nice
with the
one.
awe, how old is your little brother?
30.
Okay.
Oh,
I was like,
Make it up
"Aw."
so fast.
You get that little
it's
boy
still all
lightsaber.
moment, okay? He has a good relationship with his brother.
That's
That's
I'm
true.
just saying.
We loan each other lightsabers, apparently.
Kevka says, I take offense at Dollar Dues being used as a British thing. See the thing that has happened over the past couple of weeks is I can only say Dollar Dues in that accent. I can't say Dollary Dues.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say, last thing I wanted to say was that that one of the things that I liked about what we have seen so far with the new X-Men is that they have not been wearing black leather. They've been actually wearing their comic book costumes. And so the fact that people are upset that Rebecca Romijn is actually wearing a comic-like costume. It's not exactly like her costume because gravity exists. You can't really kick ass in a halter top if you got the girls. You know what I mean? So
True.
That's insane. Also, someone mentioned something that made me think of the announcement we got at a Spaceballs sequel.
Oh, God. I can't wait for that sequel. The fact that we're getting Rick Moranis back after, 30 years or close to it?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sorry.
Well, because he retired from
fan
acting.
of his work.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. He stepped away after, I think it was his wife died, to focus on his children.
Yeah.
He stepped away for a good, valid reason.
Yeah, a respectable reason to not retire, but take a step back.
Exactly.
So yeah, awesome. I'm happy to see it.
And it's not just Rick; it's everybody. They brought everybody back, or at least all those who are still alive. Should I say?
I forgot who was even in it. Because we can't have one of them for sure. Oh, yeah, it was always Bill Pullman. I was like, is that someone else? But we can't have, unfortunately, Barf.
Yep.
Are they recasting him?
They technically no. They gave him a child, which is Josh Gad's character.
Interesting.
Not a fan of Spaceballs, except the Colonel Sanders joke. That was funny. What was the Colonel Sanders joke?
My favorite is when they comb the desert.
Oh, yeah.
That one's always a banger for me.
Yeah.
Tuvok. It is hilarious that is Tuvok from Star Trek. That is hilarious. And one of his first roles.
So, Kenny, I asked you to hold your tongue. You had a take.
Yep.
A Doom take.
Doom's take.
So I mentioned that, as I said in the chat, there is not enough setup. The major crew of Avengers do not exist, or at least have not been shown to exist. They were so focused on King the Conqueror and his plot line that now they've had to basically do a hard left, if you will, to focus on a character that was never even properly given a true setup.
And your premise is it's not relevant?
It's not the fact that it's not relevant. It's the fact that there is no stakes in the matter. Yes, the universe is at stake. We're having a convergence happen. You have the Avengers world meeting the X-Men universe. You have Disney combining with Fox for all intents and purposes. This is a major deal, and it should be a major deal. But there's nothing. Why bring back Steve? Even if this is the same Steve. Why bring back Thor? Why bring back anyone?
Well, I mean, from what I get what you're saying, and I don't know, for me, there's just too many unknowns at this point in time because it's a valid question, and where we differ is our belief in there being an answer. Because I fully believe that by the end of this film, we're gonna go full blown on into Secret Wars 2, and we're gonna have Battle World, and so you can just toss characters in because their history. I mean, yeah, we're getting Fox X-Men, but these aren't actually our Fox X-Men, right? These are it's a different universe, but they're the same people. It's yada yada yada.
They might
know
be
what I
the Fox X-Men, but who knows?
It's possible, but it's debatable. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen one Professor X die, right? I mean, that wasn't the Fox universe, but I just mean that there are going to be multiple universes where they look the same. But either way, Secret Wars 2 gives us Battle World, where we have these characters in new contexts. So even from the worlds they came from, they get rewritten, right? And so there's a whole... Johnny Storm is the sun. We have the police are like the Thors. They're all like versions of Thor. There's a whole so even the context behind each character kind of gets rewritten until we get to the end of that, and then at the end of Secret Wars 2 we get a new status quo in the Marvel comic universe with whomever they decided they wanted to keep, right? That's how Miles Morales got merged into the main universe. So what I'm saying is, I agree. They haven't set things up properly, and I think that's a terrible thing. I would have loved if they, let's say you did make Kang the big bad of this era, and then we have a Fantastic Four, and you have Reed reach out with something he can't figure out to one of his old colleagues, and we build up Doctor Doom as not a villain, but as an extremely smart person who doesn't play nice with others. And then that guy is who turns eventually, because he's sees these gods and monsters always coming down, and he's like, we need to do something like that. I don't know. That's where I'm
all of that. But all of that is better than what we have right now. That trailer that we got.
Are you ready?
The trailer that we got. Hold on. I know you're going to try to lore master me into obscurity here, because that's our thing that we have. But the trailer does not show any good story implications.
Yes, it does.
No.
Doesn't show any good character growth.
Yes,
Most of these characters got one film. One film.
Yes, it does.
And no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Not even close.
Let me give my take now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Everyone's talking about a lack of setup. This is the setup.
That's so dumb.
No, it's not. You haven't given me a chance to to substantiate my claim.
Yeah, I was like, is that what I said?
No, but there's more to this take, and I'm trying to come at it from an analysis standpoint, because I don't have the future comics in my mind or in my memory. I don't know anything about this, but there's a reason Dr. Doom is narrating the beginning. Or at least that's what we came to in our reaction. It sounds like him. He's the one being like, there's something coming, and we have to do our best, to avoid it. So much of this trailer is shown from his perspective. We think it's being shown from Avengers, but everything we see is the Avengers and all of the teams fighting each other. No one's fighting Doom except for Thor. So I feel like this movie is Dr. Doom's movie. It's going to set him up. It's going to bring him into the fold, tell his story, show us why he is going to step up and square up with whatever is coming, and be the one to try to rescue or save the world. And somewhere along the way, we're seeing teams fight each other for a reason I can't really come up with now, because I don't have the context. But we see.
Come on, Ryan. He's like, Peppa's right, but he's saying what I said. Yes, it's time runs out.
Here's my problem with that take, with your take on that. You're giving Loki kind of intentions. We're going back to phase 1 level of logic here. Loki was the center focus of the entire film. The Avengers were technically background characters. Yes, they had some time to shine. Yes, they had their own goals and things like that in the first phase, but it was always around Loki. That's what the first Avengers was. Now that we're in this phase, and I don't even know what phase we're in, 5?
7.
27, I don't care. It's the fact that we haven't spent enough time with the characters that we have, and those stories don't intertwine good enough to actually justify a Doomsday level or Doom level threat, especially Fantastic Four, which unfortunately my oldest son absolutely adores. So I've seen too much of that film. There's nothing there to actually say, oh yeah, Doom's definitely the bad guy that we should put out there.
But that's what I'm saying. This movie is going to be it.
I do think Fantastic Four missed an opportunity not at least having him appear or be talked about in any way. I don't know if I don't think he needed to be like the villain of Fantastic Four or anything. I do have some faith in this movie just because we went into Avengers 1 without really knowing the villain that well. Like, he's just in one movie. And then the rest of the movies are super separate. We went into Ultron. That villain is invented in the movie itself. And that one was still fine. Like, I think they can pull it off. I think the one thing that gave me a lot of faith in it was watching Marvel Zombies. And a lot of those characters that are in Doomsday are paired up in that movie. And they have really good chemistry. So I think that part will be good.
And don't get me wrong, Gage. You're not wrong in that regard when it comes to Loki. Loki being only in the one film, and every other character had their time to shine within their respected film. But it's the story narrative that connects to them all. That is the connection piece that leads into the first Avengers. Everything that we've had, except for Fantastic Four, the new Avengers, or Thunderbolts, if you will, and Loki to a certain degree, are the only films that actually really connect to what is going to happen in Doomsday, or at least should.
I do have to push back a little bit on that because I feel like we are kind of harkening back to the birth of the MCU as an example, and I just think it's a bad example, right? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube type of thing.
That's true.
Nobody cared about the Avengers really before then, right? I mean, Iron Man was popular, but ish. But we weren't on anywhere near this level, so they got to kind of invent the game as it was rolling, and now we're rolling into a known quantity. So, I mean, where I'm at is I'm along for the ride. If the MCU wants to survive, it needs to reinvent itself. It can't keep doing what it's always been doing and expect different results, right? We're just going to have the law of diminishing returns. So, if they are, I hope that they're doing what Pep is saying, right? Because if you have a movie, because I mean, these are incursions, right? These are worlds smashing into each other, and you either completely obliterate the other one or you both die, right? And so if we get something to where the last place is Doom's world, and hell, this may be a world that Doom already took over and already saved, and now these guys are coming to his planet, and so to him, they are the antagonists. That could be interesting. I could definitely mess with that. But I would like to see more setup, but we're just not going to get that. And I could have told you we weren't going to get that as soon as they cast RDJ, because I feel like the reason they casted him is to have artificial backstory. Now you have a face of someone that you already care about, despite them not having to have written a goddamn thing about him. Real quick,
and that's where it comes down to what Cage said earlier about Age of Ultron. They didn't need to set up for him because he was just a thought, and him being the main antagonist was the entire point, was the thought.
Well, and that
because
being said,
it
even though
around the Avengers,
and even though he wasn't created until that film, the thought that created him is the through line of the previous films, right? So that was still kind of a natural progression.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From his PTSD to where he ends up going. But Darth Angel in the chat asked a question. She said that they heard that Doom was a variant of Iron Man. Is that still the case? No, Doom is not a variant of Iron Man. That's what they have been saying. And it also has really been pissing me off when people talk about infamous Iron Man. That is not an Iron Man variant. That is Doom saying he's Iron Man, right?
I'm going to push back a little bit on that.
Opposite. Now,
I'm going to push back a little bit on that. One of the reasons why I've always loved the MCU is because of the fact that they've mixed a lot of these characters from different versions of the comic. There's not one singular character in the entire MCU that can say, I come from this said comic. They're all a mashup, every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Doom feels like he could be a variant. The directors, the writers, and all of them can say one thing. They're trying to lead us away. That is their job. That is their goal. That has always been the thing that they've always done. Lucasfilm's been doing it for decades. Wouldn't be too surprised if the MC or Marvel does the exact same thing. They will lead us astray as far as long as they can. I do believe that Doom is a variant, just not of the same degree.
I would say, I might be splitting hairs, but I'm kind of putting my foot down that Doom is not a variant of Iron Man. He is a variant of Tony Stark.
Oh,
I can deal with that.
Yeah, but then would he still be Victor Von Doom or Tony Stark?
And that depends on exactly how that works. Let's say you have, Tony Stark's parents bringing him somewhere when he's super young, and Winter Soldier kills them then, and he's abandoned, and he's like entirely raised by this family that's a Romani family, right? He's not going to have any of the same, entirely different culture, entirely different raised way, entirely different surroundings, so he won't be the same smart mouth, quippy guy, but he would have the same intellect, and he still ended up going to all these schools and doing all this stuff,
Look at Sylvie. Sylvie is a straight up Loki clone, or a Loki variant, but she had such a massive difference to the Loki that we all know and love. A vast difference.
I mean, I just want to push back on the idea that there's absolutely no setup.
I don't really have much time left.
So, because I read Ryan right here, the bigger issue is the lack of focus on the incursions in the trailer. I think we're seeing.
That's true.
I think we're seeing the incursions right here. I think.
I think those have more setup than Doom.
Give me some freaking time, guys.
Exactly, Gage. Christ. Thank you.
I think we're seeing the fight between the teams is largely the beginning of their meetings. The incursions are happening. They don't know who these people are. The X-Men come out. They have all these superpowers. The Fantastic Four comes out. These people are fighting each other. And for the most part, Thor's exposition throughout the trailer is like, when you come out the other side of this, you're going to be brothers and sisters. And we're going to need a miracle. In comes Steve Rogers, who created the first... Stop. Let me finish.
No. I was going to add to your point. Because I think you and I are on the same page on this. Thor is acting more like what Steve Rogers was in the original.
Right.
He was the catalyst. He was the glue that kept everything together.
So the chronology isn't linear in the trailer. We're going to see a lot of them fighting each other. Thor's going to... And then, like, in one of the scenes, Thor comes in with the Fantastic Four, and they're all in the same room. And you're like, all right, guys, stop. There's this other person that's trying to do things over here. He wants to stop the incursions and save the world. But for whatever reason, it's going to be more catastrophic than it is a panacea. And that's kind of like the setup of where Doom comes in and what his role is in this next narrative, because I think, like Choco said, it's going to be multiple chapters to this, right? We're not endgaming when we have Infinity War.
I'm not saying it's endgame, but it's definitely giving more, as Gage said, Ultron vibes.
No, but I think we have a lot more setup, you know?
Not enough.
Listen, we didn't, like, what setup did we have for the Thunderbolts? The other
That's
characters sprinkled in other shows and other movies. What setup did we have for the Fantastic Four?
That goes the same direction. Just like as I said in the very beginning, these were just independent little projects that were all all put in.
Right.
And now we're doing this big budget film.
But their provenance has always been sprinkled in to the story previously in small portions. So obviously, just like we were saying with phase 1 of MCU, we're not getting individual movies for every single character leading up to the formation of Avengers. We have a lot more characters now.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have is, Doctor Strange mom setting up the incursions, right? We have Thunderbolts setting up those characters, and then we have new Captain America setting up his Avengers, Sam's Avengers. These are all characters that have small little sprinkles of bits of information and setup from their own either movies, shows. And that's another difference. We have a lot more shows as opposed to where we started with the MCU.
Those did the heavy lifting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think because Loki really set off the whole multiverse problem.
Yeah.
And it also wrapped up the Kang problem, technically. In season 2, they throw that line in.
I think that like Super Ruiz is saying in the chat, I think that characters are going to be the setup. This is a character piece. Mm-hmm. They're going to meet each other and fight each other and have disagreements, and along the way, their conflicts and their clashing of ideologies are going to be the exposition that we need.
I feel like you're both right, and you're just talking about different things. That's what I'm seeing. Like what I feel like is the idea that there's not proper setup is true in the sense that we don't have a proper setup for Victor Von Doom being a big bad in the MCU. We have plenty of setup for incursions and for other universes, and for this causing issues throughout the multiverse. There's plenty of setup for that. There's plenty of setup for characters from different universes meeting each other, and that's all well. There's plenty there. My thing is, I just don't know that, depending on how they do it, how they pursue it, I just don't know that they will need the setup for Doom, just like we were able to. I mean, we had Gambit show up in a movie, and we're just like, cool. I didn't need any setup. It doesn't take anything away, I know he's not the main character, but I didn't find it to be problematic. And so I have faith that they'll be able to put something together that makes sense and works. And also, kind of like Pep said, this is not the end game or even the Infinity War of this. This is the bridge to what will be the new normal going forward, right? So again, I am technically with Pep, although I feel like I was saying this first. This is the setup for the new normal. This is where we're going.
I was just trying to put it in a package that because I don't have your comics knowledge, so I was like, from an outsider's standpoint, I feel like this is what makes sense to me.
And as I said, and I agree with you on that one, Pep. Pep. I don't have the knowledge like Brandon does. Obviously, Choco has dang near godlike level when it comes to comic book knowledge.
Not that high,
or at least
but I appreciate that. I'm a big Jonathan Hickman fan, though. That's for sure.
I'm just looking at this because I have kept up with the MCU. I'm actually now officially caught up to go into this movie with all knowledge involved. I don't feel like there is enough there to justify this film.
And for me, it's like I wish there was more, but I don't see it as a problem. I don't think, it's like it would be nice to have, but I don't know that I need it.
But I'm gonna head out.
Another thing
Obviously,
to consider
I'm fading
is
into
just
black.
also, yeah, you are fading to black, but just like
We'll start calling you Chase.
the last thing I just want to say is, like, of course, there is the obvious factor that this is an obvious pivot from Kang, right?
Yes.
So it is what it is at this point. They're not going to spend another 2 years to give us more, right? It's a pivot, but I also think, just like everyone else has expressed thus far, I have faith that, like, especially with Doom kind of being the narrator and seemingly being the main character or the main protagonist of this movie, it's called Doomsday. I don't think it means that it is the Doomsday, but, like, I feel like Dr. Doom kind of leading the primary voice of this movie might kind of serve as that bridge, like Choco said. So, yeah.
Spoiler alert, a cataclysm comes in through, and here comes Superman, Green Lantern, everybody, and we just get that Marvel versus DC thing that we've all been waiting for.
All right, well, before you go, just a hot take. If that does happen, who sweeps?
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, Supergirl sweeps.
I'm putting a hard bet. I am putting a hard bet on the X-Men specifically.
Depends on who their lineup is, right?
Supergirl sweeps, like, with, like, Nathan Richards too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Does Nathan Richards can't even, like, say his alphabet yet?
Yeah, but
I don't know if he's gonna.
He revived his mommy.
That's true.
All right, I am totally going completely black here, so I'll catch you all later.
All right, man.
All right. Have a good night.
Later.
Night.
No, I just mean as a character, Supergirl has all the strength of Superman, but not the same level of moral good.
Oh, that's
moral
true.
fiber.
That's true.
So yeah.
Speaking of, I think the baby from Fantastic Four is going to play a pretty big role in the movie, I assume.
Most likely.
That's the only Doom tease we have, so it must be pretty major.
I mean, the baby's got to be a stand-in for Molecule Man.
Ooh, you know what?
That'd be
Now that you
interesting.
mention it, now that you both mention it, that could also serve, like you said, that could also have been the setup, right?
Yeah.
So we join Doctor Doom in this movie, and he's like, these incursions, we have to do something, and then, like, he finds Nathan Richards in this universe. He's like, that's the key, right? And
Could be.
steals Nathan Richards, and that's what brings the Fantastic Four into this kind of world. And
I mean, if knowing Doctor Doom, if anything, I'd bet that he's ruined a world.
I mean, he might have ruined the Fantastic Fours already. That's why they dip.
Yeah, I just picture somewhere where he needs that child because he knows how powerful he will become. But then again, in the comics, he also comes back from the future and then merges with himself, so he's twice as powerful. Steals his own power, so he's twice as powerful. It's weird. It happens.
yeah, honestly, who knows what they're doing? I just did, like, when I rewatched it after our reaction, I was just thinking about, like, how they could carry the movie with Doctor Doom as the main protagonist instead of the antagonist.
That's fair. I do think people romanticize the earlier MCU as being more locked in narratively and connected than it was. They did a lot of pivots in that too. I mean, like Ultron, it was the one I mentioned earlier. That was supposed to be set up completely in an Ant-Man movie that did not come out in time. And then they just changed entire origin. yeah, that movie's disappeared. But I still like the one we got. But then you've got, like, even the Phase 3, which is trying to set up directly to Infinity War. A lot of those movies are zero to do with the Thanos saga at all, and then after credit scene is like, oh, there was an Infinity Stone there, and it's just like that's how it connects. You know,
Which
you had a string
I
of
like.
5 movies like that, I think.
And I guess this is where my hot take is: don't make a bad movie to set up for a good movie. You know what I mean?
Or Dark
I don't
World.
know. Just like tell me the information, put in a comic, and then just make the good movie. I don't know. That's how I feel. Like I feel like some of the connective tissue is slowing us down at this point in time. That
I do like
Yes.
off
I also
screen
wanna
they've
push
been
back.
doing a
Dark
lot.
World's not that bad.
That's true. It's just the worst of that era, maybe, in my
Because
opinion. But
I feel like it's already been like, what, 18 years? It's been like 18 years since Iron Man 1. I feel like we're doing the Star Wars thing, right? Where it's kind of like, man, the original freaking phase was peak.
yeah,
Never get there, right?
I give a lot of slack.
And then I go back to the original trilogy. I'm like, yeah, these are still great films, but like, when are the graphics like not gonna age well? You know, like
That's true. I still give Phase 2 in general, like people, like I said, people romanticize it. That phase was straight up like the movies have nothing to do with each other, and then the Avengers movie undoes like 2 of them almost instantly. Like it's like Iron Man's back in his suit, Iron Man 3 gone, Helicarrier's back, Winter Soldier gone. Like it's like, you know, like the Infinity War phase was probably the most like locked in they ever were. But even then, like if you look at the incursions, like they're the Infinity Stones, same deal. It's just like this phase is a bunch of movies that sort of don't have anything to do with each other, and then some of them have after credit scenes that are like, hey, there's a multiverse, you know.
Well, I mean, judging from the last frame of the trailer, I'm like, are they doing the same thing again? Because the last time we saw Steve, he was, you know, playing a swan song with what's her
Peggy.
face, Peggy Carter, and then he's back. So it's kind of
I think
like
there's a
Iron Man
chance.
being like, no more. It comes back.
My hot take on Steve, and I said it in our reaction, is that when people said, "Oh, Steve would never leave his friends or whatever," I don't think he did. I think he went and he fought. Like he just fought a whole bunch of times after when he's dropping off the stones, and then eventually retired. But he made sure to take care of his friends in that interim, and so we could actually literally see him at any point in the timeline.
Yeah.
One thing I think would be really cool is that, because we know that old Steve gives Sam the shield, if that he comes up with that idea because he sees Sam leading the Avengers in this movie well,
Yeah.
and he's like, he is the right choice. I made the right choice, and then he goes and does it. I think that would be a cool
The
tie-in.
way I'm gonna justify that, Choco, is like in Endgame where he's like, "You want to tell me about that ring?" And he's like, "No, I don't think I will, because I don't have to tell you about the time I fought Doctor Doom with everybody."
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. He's like, you're not allowed to know that part yet.
I
And
love
actually,
that.
it would make more sense if like maybe he was putting the rings back and then got derailed into all of this stuff, and then
I think
eventually he's
Lo-
like, I can't go back. If I go back to where I was and live with them, then I'm going to alter those events that I just did that we barely survived.
Yeah.
I think
I can't.
Loki picked him up, is my guess, because Loki's the time dude now. So I think there's a good chance that he plucked Steve out of whatever he was doing for this.
What are the chances Loki was Peggy?
No, Lord Goob, I like that. We're gonna put all the context in Fortnite monologues.
That's true.
Yeah.
Somehow Steve returned.
and maybe Roblox as well.
Gage, you need to post that on TikTok. I'll repost it. Let's start the meme train on somehow Steve Rogers returned.
Oh, man.
No, I like that. What about Loki? Loki becoming Peggy Carter to get close to Steve.
Oh, that's a twist.
They start,
to
they
convince
start
him to-
dancing in the living room. It's like, all right, now let me tell you about these incursions.
I mean, listen, they dropped that summer Loki skin in Marvel Rivals.
Thor, when Steve comes out of the portal, you cracked my brother? Like,
it is what it is.
He's adopted.
No, I think if you want to open up the third link I sent you.
What's the title of the third link? Because I have several links.
The Lucasfilm Publishing panel.
Oh yeah, I brought this up quickly earlier.
Yeah, I was like, I pulled up all of the stuff from today, so.
Let's take a look, Sean.
Some interesting stuff in here.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have to find it. Here we go. What we're looking at, folks.
I think the highlight for me was the Luke and Leia book announcement. Some of this stuff was already announced, but not like concretely. Like they just announced, "Hey, we're doing this," and now we have titles and art and things like that. But
yeah, so I'll scroll down a little bit.
The Twin Crossroads.
Yeah, being written by my mutual, Beth Revis. So I am excited about
what
that.
other Star Wars
better.
work has she done?
So Beth Revis did the Leia book that after it's like the Princess and the Scoundrel.
Oh, that was
Beth
great.
Revis also wrote the Jyn Erso book.
Also great.
Rebel Rising?
Rebel Rising. And I feel like there's one other major canon book in there. I can't remember. But
She wasn't in any High Republic. Did she do one of the Galaxy's Edge books, maybe?
no, I think it's just Rebel Rising and Scoundrel.
okay, yeah.
Both have good romance. I hope this one doesn't.
Let's see. A new adult novel from Random House following
Hey.
the adventures of Luke and Leia.
Yeah, and so actually Beth does an interview about this. So one of the cool things about them writing it at this point in time is that she actually got to read the upcoming book of Leia and Rey and work with that author in okay, so this is how she trained. This is a story of her training, so she got to kind of marry those two together. I'm really excited about that book as well.
I will say the art makes me realize that their hilts together look so good as like a twin brother, twin sister vibe. But it's an interesting time period too, because Luke is going to be new to training her. She's going to be new to having learned. I wonder if this will be the book that I don't remember if they gave like a concrete timeline on when she quit. But
And you're muted, MJ, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
How's it going, MJ? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. It's
Good
still
morning.
a heat wave. Yay.
안녕하세요.
Well, we are happy to have you join at this point in time because we are talking about Lucasfilm Publishing.
Hey.
We didn't get to talk books last time, and so we're finna do it this time.
Wait.
Where's
I
Living
need my
Force?
book.
All right, so is this slideshow the interview, or are we talking about A New Hope?
Yeah, this slideshow is not the interview. That's actually the next link that I had sent you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can click on the next link, and then we can come back.
Oh. Are we getting new novelizations?
Yes, we're getting new novelizations that are getting the full audiobook
By George
treatment
Lucas?
With,
are they like
Wait, it
newly
is.
written, or are they just the previous ones canonized?
I didn't dive into it that far, but I got the impression that these are new unabridged canon.
Yeah, we don't
That's
have.
good.
We
They
don't-
redid
we don't
the
have
juniors.
unabridged. We don't have unabridged canon novelizations. We have. I think we have we have those Choose Your Adventure novels.
So
They-
you want to?
they did,
Yeah, so you
They
wanna
did
be a
the
Jedi.
junior ones.
Yeah.
They did junior ones with new titles for the original trilogy, and that's I think the only canon ones
Yeah,
they've done.
and then the choose your adventure. So you want to be a Jedi, the power, the power of the dark side, or something like that. So these will actually be kind of like ipso facto the novelizations for these movies,
Which is
man.
great. Because,
Yeah,
boy,
pretty
those
sure it's
old
good.
OT novelizations have some wild stuff in them.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, well, you have to remember back in those days, a lot of times the book would come out first before the movie. You know, like they did not care, and so they could be working off of different
I
versions of the
distinctly
same
remember
script.
reading the Revenge of the Sith novel and then going to see the movie and being very disappointed that it was less like the book. I read that novel and thought I was about to go into the best experience of my life.
Wait, you didn't watch Revenge of the Sith thinking that every time there was an emotional moment, you would have to read through like an entire page of context and really heavy emotional like understanding as to how that moment came to be? They
Hey,
do
that would
in
go
films.
hard.
Crazy.
Yeah, they should have given
into
Anakin
Anakin's eyes and like
inner monologue.
How I'm here, and the dragon was me the whole time.
Dooku flips over the railing and then it goes, so this is what it means to be Dooku. And you're like, oh, okay. So you're really old and you're like kind of racist. I'd be into
incredible. No, I'd be down for that. Slightly more anime, but I'm okay with it.
Let's see, Star Wars: A Celebration. What's going to be in this? Oh, some
Oh,
behind
very
the scenes
cool.
stuff.
Is this San Diego Comic-Con? The place I would never,
Yes.
ever be able to go to. It's like very far away.
Yeah,
What
so
is-
these are things that were released yesterday, something like
Okay.
that. I don't
Is
know.
there a South Daegu?
South
Comic-Con?
Daegu Comic-Con. A Korean Comic-Con? You know, that's a great question. Let's find out. Korean Comic-Con. Is San Diego Comic-Con like the Comic-Con, or is it called San Diego Comic-Con because it's like the
I would
adjacent
say
Comic-Con?
I would say so. New York is
it
like
is
almost as
the-
big.
Yeah. I'd say it was the first like big one that really sparked all the other places to start moving, and then New York
Okay,
has gotten
okay.
up there, and now it's too big to be quite honest.
Oh, wow.
but I will be there tomorrow.
Okay.
It's so big that you honestly don't need a 4-day pass. You can drop one day and do like it's so big it doesn't fit in the convention center, and so different productions and stuff they do stuff in hotels downtown, and so you can just
Oh,
do
wow.
a bunch of free stuff and not even go into the convention.
That's wild. Yeah,
Anakin
I've been around
flirts
like
with
we.
the dark side.
Hey,
That guy bathed
so those
in the
tan
Kool-Aid.
people, huh?
I didn't realize the dark side was a Zygerian queen.
Oh, where the hell did his Riz come from in that moment? And where did it go?
I don't know.
Padme doesn't
that's
get
the
any.
separation between Matt Lanter and Hayden.
Do you know where I really realized it? Matt Lanter in the Lego Skywalker Saga game dubs the AOTC lines, and he delivers
Yes.
them like well, like when he's like you know, like just like in my dreams, like when he does that stuff, and he like pulls it off somehow.
I'm in
Yes,
agony
okay.
over the kiss you should have never given me.
They don't have that one in the game,
Oh.
believe it or not.
But yeah, so this book is a I mean it's a journalist writing about what the legacy of Vader is to the world and to Anakin and the context of the universe and all this stuff. So I'm definitely gonna get this. Hayden Christensen writes the foreword, so I want to know what he has to say about because I mean, the role changed his
I
life.
was gonna
and-
always get this, default status, but I wouldn't. I would just get it for the spread too if I wasn't, gonna get it for the info. That's crazy. It's got some Ahsoka in it too. Okay. What were you gonna say, MJ? I think I heard you say my name.
Did I?
Uh,
You might be
Say
imagining
my
it.
name, say my name.
That's fair.
Eyes around
mean-
you.
If you want me to say your name, I'll do it.
Star Wars Icons Vader in October from Insight Editions. This looks like the shorts that we get, right?
Oh yeah.
Disney Plus?
Galaxy of Adventures.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh.
I wish they did more of them.
They should do more of them, but like those characters look really really cool and are interesting like additions. I really like that Leia. The Han one that kind of his cave brow confuses me, but it's like hair is too modern. I don't know.
In the same vein, like Leia looks great. Han looks like a perfect rendition in that style. Luke looks like he came from like Peppa the Pig.
Caillou. Yeah,
He looks like it's for a kid's book.
That pose is doing him no favors, and
I think each one-
the pants and his skin color are kind of the same tone, which really annoys me as well.
I wonder if each one is a different artist.
I mean, they're different art
It's Mad Cave
styles.
Studios.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
Luke really
funny
let go
though
of her.
because the Luke one on the cover, he's so like it's so
Manly.
strong. You know what I mean? Like it's strength,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
this one he's just like, "Hi, hello."
Ian Bach says, but even the Crossroads book is something I'd much prefer to see as an animated Tales of or something. Instead, they put it out as a novel. I say that as someone who loves the books. Well, so one thing I will say about what Disney Lucasfilm is doing this time around, to which everyone seems to have an issue with when it comes to discussing Legends, is that the reason they took all of the old books and put them into Legends is because they wanted to start off like from a blank slate and say, okay, from here on out, all of the books and comics are canon. So, in a sense, like I'm encouraged with the fact that they are continually pumping out these books and everything. Even if I would have liked, I would like some new sequel era stuff, like animated series and
Same.
shows. It's still content. But we're also getting New Jedi Order, and it hasn't been delayed, and they're in production now. So I think Starfighter is the start of it narratively, and I think we're slowly but surely going to get into that territory of the sequel era timeline.
And the second that lid is off, that's when they can start. They can do another 50-issue run Star Wars comic set in between Starfighter and New Jedi Order. You know, they can start like kind of pushing for new stuff in that era.
Star Wars
'Cause,
2027, and it's just covering like the 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like they get that opportunity all of a sudden.
Yeah, usually there's like just a moratorium, like no writing anything in this era until we decide what it is, and then once they put the big rocks, then they can fill in the small ones.
Yeah, the sequels got kind of gypped out. Like the fact that Last Jedi takes place 6 seconds after Force Awakens immediately just like eliminated the ability to do a
But
comic
I
in
honestly
there.
didn't want another Attack of the Clones with 10 years as well. Let's like
No, that's true. I meant more so like 4 to 5. Where, like,
there's things in between.
there's that one Ray adventure. Yeah.
I do think though that if they do an animated series like in the sequel timeline, I think it would be awesome for that to serve as the prequels of the New
That'd be
Jedi
good.
Order, right? Instead of doing the prequel trilogy, we would just have like we would have Daisy's New Jedi Order, and then there's an animated series that covers like 5-10 years previous to that. You know what I mean?
I'm really hoping that when they get to the Rey movie, that Jedi Order is firmly established, and it's not like a Luke situation where Luke in the Mando timeline is like 8 years
Building
out from
houses.
Return of the Jedi, and he's making the temple. I'm like, buddy, you're running out of time.
No, but essentially what I want them to do, though, if they do like a sequels timeline animated show, is that I don't want them covering in between stuff. Because
like in between the movies,
yeah, because it did something to the Clone Wars where they were like creatively constrained narratively from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Right.
It did lead to very iconic moments like Anakin goes up elevator, Grievous goes down elevator, and things like that.
Yeah, and Anakin has his Padawan fight Grievous by herself. and he's just like messing about. Yeah.
Great idea.
It says, I believe New Jedi Order is 15 years after Tross.
Yeah.
That's what I heard as well. But
Yeah.
Again, yeah, we still have to wait. So, High Republic continues. We get High Republic Adventures Pathfinders. You were just scrolled up.
Those have been good. I've read the first couple issues of it. It's always nice to get more High Republic content and Phase 2 content, because that era was a lot shorter than Phase 1 and 3.
You know what it also tells me is that now that the Project Luminous and like the phases are done, like it's an established era. So they're just gonna
Thankfully, yeah.
visit it and just tell stories within it whenever they want.
Yeah, there's a couple threads they never tied up from in between Phase 2 and 1 they could always fill in, and then they set up a pretty clear like brief chasing Aslan thing type setup for the future. But I don't know where they'll...
Is that not Lulu?
No, these two are original to this comic.
Because I was picturing the one where it was the was it the Padawan? But it was the book with the Captain America Jedi Master.
Salandra?
Yeah. Salandra.
This is from that same era.
Who was that one young Padawan? Because that's what it reminds me of.
Rupert
Natani. Yeah.
Yep. She's great. Inheritor of the Shield.
Yeah. That's what it kind of looked like to me.
These two are a good pair. These two kind of remind me of Anakin and Ahsoka a little bit in the way they interact and stuff. But
man, so I love the concept of Jedi with a shield so much that my TTRPG character is I use my hat as a shield as a Jedi and
Embo.
Are you a Cuso? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. That sounds so dope.
There's a Jedi Cuso, right? In High Republic, right? Yeah, there is.
Yeah, Sav Maligan.
Yeah, she's great.
Is it a physical shield or an energy one? Do you have it on the gauntlet and it pops up, or is it? Oh, it's your hat, right? You use it as literally like. Okay.
Yeah.
This Galactic Tales of Terror.
I think this is they announced at New York Comic Con. They announced they were doing a genre, like they would do a genre series where like each next book would be a different genre, and the first one was that romance book that just came out, and I think this is the horror genre one.
What does this art remind me of?
Sam Fisher's his Splinter Cell is looking really weird these days.
I was gonna say it looks like who we call Savathic, or looks like a little
from Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Looks like Ezra's there.
Oh. Bit of Windu action.
I would love more Ezra content.
Yeah, it was right there. See him?
Oh, dang, never mind. You went so fast I didn't realize.
That was really quick. Wow, you have that in your brain, just like the two like neighboring neurons. Wild.
Also, shout out to Ellie.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
There's the romance one.
Eyes like stars. Middle grade horror.
The supposed first Star Wars romance novel, even though Lost Stars exists with the same word in its title.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hiding from the dark and eyes like stars. Hiding.
I
Kirsten
started
White?
this.
Okay.
I got 10 pages in.
Yeah, so this book dropped a couple days ago. I haven't finished it. Yeah, but no, there's definitely romance novels. A Test of Fate, as well.
Temptation of the Force to an extent, I would say.
Yeah. So these two books are already available, or just Hiding from the Dark?
Eyes Like Stars.
Just Eyes Like Stars. I think.
Dropped on the 21st.
Oh, okay. Time to cop that one. Ahmed Best. Indiana Jones.
Yeah. No,
His,
the other one.
the last comic he wrote was great.
I mean, he's a very talented dude. I feel bad that he
Wait, he writes these things? Or he
He
draws?
wrote.
he wrote,
he
a
wrote,
comic for his
Jar Jar.
his. It was an adventure with Jar Jar and his Jedi character.
Kelleran.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's great. It's only an issue, but it's really, really good.
Okay.
And then the only one MJ didn't get to talk about at all, his thoughts was the first one. So with Luke and Leia, Twin Crossroads.
The Twin Crossroads. Yeah, I was gonna talk about it's a novel, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I approve. I haven't read a lot of Star Wars novels, but I heard some people talking about how it would be easier to have things as animations or whatever. I know that animations are easier to consume, and to some extent comic books as well, but reading is important, guys. It's a really good skill, and you should definitely read a novel. And I think if Star Wars is your entry point into novels, fantastic. Just read. Just read.
I learned to
It's
read.
so important.
When I was like a little kid, they bought me the little here's how to read Star Wars books.
I also think that, and this is something that Choco says a lot, I also think that a lot of this content coming out as books and comics is acting as a natural insulator to what would be people who are just hating on it for absolutely no reason, right? Because they have to read them.
Yeah, If you want to hate, you've got to read the book. But fun, weird coincidence that people who like to hate on things like Star Wars, with no real basis, they don't really read. Whether they like to or whether they know how is a different conversation. But yeah, reading is good, guys. You should read. You should read as much as you can.
Speaking of
Star
reading,
Wars
I just
is a great
finished
place to do it.
The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. Highly recommend.
Okay. The Sword of Kaigan. Is that in a particular? Is that a new? Is that a franchise thing, or is it just a separate book entirely?
Yeah, it's its own thing. It's written as if there was going to be more books, but I don't believe there is. Sorry, there are books in this universe, but this is its own thing.
What's the genre? Is it fantasy? It sounds like fantasy.
It's fantasy. It's martial arts. The author, I didn't even look up anything about the author till after I finished, and after I finished it, all she cared about growing up was writing and doing martial arts, and so they both just came into this book. So
there you go.
I thought that was cool.
Harith has a good point.
Very cool.
I also think it's easier for Lucasfilm because they're so scared of recasting.
That's true. That's why I push for animated as well. Same
Oh, I
argument.
Yeah,
I get mad about this.
But Mark is still here, so if we did animated tales of that stuff, we'd be here old ass Mark.
Guys,
at some point they just gotta be let's get that Battlefront 2 guy back in the studio and let him rip. We don't need to give
You know
Mark
what
a
I'm
check.
talking about.
Listen, I still get nightmares from Bad Batch. I still get nightmares. Little Caleb Doom walks up. Hey, guy, Freddie Prinze Jr. at 40's voice comes out of his body. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, I'm talking about Force and Destiny when he's helping the Ewoks set up the traps and Return of the Jedi.
Or when he's training with Yoda.
Guys,
I'll help
it's
you
okay.
set up these traps.
No, we don't need it. In live action, we don't have to recast. We can just slap a face over an actor that already passed as Luke already without slapping a face on him. We can do it again. We can keep doing it for 30 years. We never have to recast if we just slap that really cool and awesome good-looking technology onto other actors.
Yeah,
So
he looked less like Luke when they put it on. I don't get it. But sorry, that kind of paragraph, that third one down, Beth Revis says, my favorite thing was coming up with where Leia got her kyber crystal, which I cannot believe they let me do. I think that's awesome.
That's interesting.
What?
I want to find out
cool.
how she got her kyber crystal. That's
Definitely a different place than Luke got his.
She went to Megiddo and found
in
Kiadi
Megiddo.
Mundi's She saw where Ki-Adi-Mundi died and was like, "Hey, look, kyber crystal."
Why Ki-Adi-Mundi of all?
Because he died on Megiddo.
Yeah, yes, but then
she went she went to a crater on Scarif and got Jin's necklace.
Okay, I like. Oh, I kind of like. No,
I like that.
I'm just picturing. They just left him there. Like, they all just left Megiddo.
It's a battlefield waiting bridge with a skeleton in the middle, with a really long skull. Like,
what the hell happened? Anyways,
someone's
yoink.
in charge of the body retrieval
Wait,
at
Jin's
Megiddo, and
necklace.
then they think back to Ki-Adi-Mundi's like. And you get little flashbacks like the Sith have been extinct for a millennia, and then
just give
Palpatine
Pep a lore
scream, and
idea.
then what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? And then Yoda's gone from the Jedi Temple when they need him most, and then I think we can leave him there. I think it's fine. We're done here. Back
Wait,
it up.
was the Scarif ignition a single reactor? I thought they destroyed
yeah.
Scarif.
It was single
No,
reactor. Yeah,
Scarif
no,
is
they just
chilling.
destroyed the.
That's why I said a
destroyed the
crater.
beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Scarif wasn't destroyed.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
went
was.
just
back to
area
it.
was.
They went back to it in the comics, and it was yeah.
Yeah, because
Jeddah was
they did a
the
lot
one
of.
that they messed up beyond repair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of like those demonstrations to kind of like hammer it into at least the people paying attention that like there was multiple reactors on the Death Star, and if it was a single reactor ignition, like Jeddah still exists, Scarif still exists.
Well, Jeddah still existed for 2 years and then it fell apart. But
Yeah. I just love the concept that they shot Krennic.
Oh, it's so
Literally.
funny.
Yeah.
It's like peak karma for him. It's so good. Oh, look on it. The great look on his face from the actor when he looks up at it,
Yeah,
and he's like wounded
yeah.
in the tower, and he sees it like charging. Oh man,
Yeah.
Hold on.
they managed to
Hold on.
like almost hit him directly too. Like I don't think they were intending to, but they hit the
Oh
tower.
no!
Yeah, that's what I
in
mean.
my
Like he's
head-
on that part in the tower, and it's like when you had the laser cannon in Halo. Like that's how I felt.
In my head, the targeting operator is looking through like a 6 million magnification scope, and then finds him first.
This guy was the worst boss I've ever had.
This particular guy, yeah, just shouting all the time, talking about deploying the garrison. He just wouldn't stop.
I'm just glad we're getting another. I think Canada has been very light on Luke-focused novels. Really, like they had one
Yeah.
right at the very start, and then you get Shadows of the Sith, which is kind of past like this Luke. Like he's a little way older, and I think it'll be interesting to give a Return of the Jedi Luke a novel.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be good to get a second good Luke book.
Yeah.
wanna
You know,
read this,
I don't hate Heir to
passage.
the Jedi, but
I want to read this
okay.
passage from Beth. Knowing how Leia approached her training with Rey helped me figure out how Luke approached it with Leia. Having all these stories interconnected and interwoven is my favorite thing about Star Wars. They all weave together and they're all connected. Finding ways to make those connections stronger is my main goal when I'm writing a story, and just seeing that moment in the movie where she had the lightsaber in her hand, we know that Leia's the kind of person who does not do anything by halves. She was always going to give it her all, and whatever she did, she naturally had me wondering what changed. There's a whole lifetime summed up in that one moment when she rips off her helmet. Which makes me question. Leia must have been like a master duelist.
yeah. Well, we also don't know. That could have been their 10th sparring match of the day, and
Well,
Luke
no,
had
the
9 of them.
implication
But
that like Leia never like half-asses things, so she probably
Oh, yeah.
like, you know,
she locks
type
in.
8 it
Well,
and just like learn
Yoda
everything.
always thought her mindset, like with how she was raised politically and with restraint as a queen or as a princess and stuff, Yoda thought she would be better than Luke.
Wow.
This is another
Well-
great point. For me, the biggest thing I wanted to do is make them sound human. I had to think of Luke as his own person. He's not the staunch warrior who knows everything or the wise monk on the mountain. He's just
Nope.
Luke who wanted to go to Tashi's station. I was like, yes!
It's true.
This is why this is the kind of person that I want thinking about Star Wars and talking about Star Wars with and stuff. Instead of looking at a scene in a movie and going, that's not been explained before, this is shit, I don't like it. This person comes along and goes, I want to write a whole book about that moment. That sounds interesting. How did it happen? What led up to it? Like, just take the scene as it is and not, whatever you want it to be, and kind of figure it out in your head. Think about it a little bit, engage.
And actually, I feel like now that we're still talking about Lucasfilm writing, I feel like there's a book we have not spoken about with MJ yet that we really, really need to.
We should.
Indeed.
Gage, you read Living Force, right?
Yes, Joe Jackson Miller.
Yeah.
The Living Force.
Great book.
So the first time MJ came on, we urged him to read the book. Me and Pep loved it. And I haven't heard if he liked or disliked it. He might just roast us all right now.
He might be a snow. he might be a snow cone hater.
Okay, hang on a second. I need to open it up. The Living Force, I can't remember. It's not my first Star Wars book, but it's definitely my first Star Wars book since Legends and Canon divided. I think when I was a kid, I read one or two in my school library. I think I read one about I know it. It was like Qui-Gon and it was Obi-Wan and Anakin was growing up as a Padawan. It was one of those, but it was really old.
Jedi Quest. That was a good little series.
I think so, but it was like one of the books in it. Maybe I read the other one, and I don't remember what happened. I just remember there was a Darksider, and I think their name began with Z or X. Was it like something?
Xanatos?
Yeah, yep. I read something about that. So that's all I remember from my novel journey.
I read that. Like I said, I learned to reading those kind of like young adult Star Wars
Amazing.
books.
What an incredible intro to the skill of reading. I approve. So,
I read them after I was way too old to read them, and so they didn't stick anywhere.
They got a lot of teen drama in that.
There's a lot of angst.
Yeah.
Oh, Obi-Wan says that's Jedi Apprentice.
Oh, it's Jedi Apprentice. Okay. Well, I mean,
I think it's or is Jedi Quest might be the Obi-Wan and Pat. They're written by the same author, Jedi Quest and Jedi Apprentice. It's one of them's Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, one's Anakin.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Either way,
those are the books with Siritachi, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to
I think
shout out to Jennifer
at
English
the time,
who plays Siritachi.
They don't confirm it in the books, but I believe at the
Siritachi.
time they had the first gay Star Wars Jedi. Because I think the author said that Ferris Olin was like in
that tracks
in
to
the
me. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I can see it.
but they never had an actual like moment.
Didn't
in the
have him
books.
do anything, but yeah.
Yeah, but like the author came out and was like, yeah, I wrote him as that. There's a reason why like they do a book way in the future where he's got a business partner who's a guy and he's like really upset that he has to leave him, and the author was like, come on, like pick it up. But
they're roommates, No, I was gonna say shout out to it's always Fern, who is always obsessing over Jude Watson.
She's great.
Also says, sorry, I wasn't saying people shouldn't read. That's not the intention of my comment. No, not at all. That's not what we took away from your comments. I know that essentially what you're asking for is just more sequel content, whether it's animated or a live action show. It's all good, man. So Living Force.
Yeah. So as I said, the only other books that I read about Star Wars, being a lifelong Star Wars fan, as I said, you should let Star Wars be. If you are a big Star Wars fan, you should let Star Wars reading be like your intro into reading if you don't read a lot. And this was my intro into like the divide between canon and legends, at least from that point. This was my first book. No. Yes, the first book I ever read through all my university years. It was The Living Force in 2026.
Hey, you could have just been a Korean speaker, and that's it.
Maybe. Yeah. Point is, this was an incredible foray into Star Wars literature. I've been in my head. It's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I really gotta get to this. It's the High Republic, just the whole series. I think it's so interesting as an era that is entirely contained in the realm of literature. And then only
Is the Mandalorian storyline done?
And then-
especially after the So-So movie.
Hey, Suruni.
I don't know.
Can't read your name. Thank you for the £5
You
drop.
used to always say it correctly.
I mean, like, I can't read it in this small box that we have for the.
Is the Mandalorian storyline done, especially after the So-So movie? I mean, I don't know, actually. Are they going to do more Mandalorian stuff?
They got a season 4 written. I think it's getting
Suruni
made.
Temi
Yeah.
Akani
Oh,
Oye.
wow.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely more to come. We also are going to be kind of crossing those Dave streams into
Don't say that.
those films. I do feel like that side is on the decline, so to speak, but it's not gone, and I think we'll get more of it.
It was kind of not on its way out in a negative sense, but on its like Dave's movie was supposed to be the possible end of it, and that was supposed to be soonish.
Hey.
So
Guys, things can end. It's okay.
Yep.
Like, it's cool. Doesn't have to be bad if something ends.
It's good. I think more things should end.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree.
I also think, though, like, from the lens of Star Wars, those characters are just now there. So
Yeah.
wherever
You can
they
approach-
can
you
choose
can-
to pop up, they're gonna pop up.
Yeah. And you can re-explore them anytime. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
And I think from a semisonic point of view, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
much like how the Living Force explores a bunch of characters who have definite ends.
So, I think I was almost finished with it, and I on my Reddit feed, I had a look, and it just suddenly popped up. Someone else was reading it at the same time, and they said, "Is anyone else having a trouble getting through this book? It's just such a slog. I'm having such a hard time getting through it." And I, having just finished one of the funniest scenes in any book, and I think mainly because the context was Star Wars, watching two Jedi Masters bicker over a snow cone. That's about the point I was at in the book. I was like, how you find this boring? This is insanely entertaining. What do you mean?
Well,
This is so funny.
I think people don't realize that, like, a Jedi, if there was a Jedi Council book that was all action, it would have been over in like 2 chapters. Like, if you have the whole council doing something, it's going to get done. The whole point of that book is like, they're like, we've lost touch with society. We're sitting on Coruscant. We need to like interact with these people and act like how Jedi used to be, kind of. And then they go out and try it.
Please understand that Jedi, it's been said ad nauseum, and yet we forget about it because there's so many points the Jedi are forced into these conflict situations where they have to be soldiers or warriors. They're not. They're also diplomats and educators and archivists and historians and like learned
teachers.
people. They are monks. They are not supposed to be fighters. The fact that they can fight is a last resort because there's some things that can't be solved without it. But as Gage has said, if a Jedi Council member wants to do something violently, it's done. Like, you don't need a book to talk about it. It's like a paragraph, right? We even see this. Like when they lock in the final act of the Living Force, they lock in and people can't do anything. It's like, we did this. We've basically planned this entire scene out, and it happens exactly as we wanted it to. That's it. There were no like extra anythings, maybe one little complication, but that was like when the bad guys messed themselves up anyway. Like, if they want something done, it gets done. The whole point of the book is that it is the Jedi as they should be or as they want to be, and that is people who are very far away from a war and don't want anything to do with war. They want to establish community and make sure that people can rely on the Jedi as sources of community building and community engagement. And I love that about this book. I thought it was great.
Which makes me think about
how about
the potential for the Rusan reformations to be the start of the cracks. Right? At
What?
least, so in canon, the reformations happened, but we don't have the context that we do in Legends, right? So with the Reformations in Legends, the Jedi decided to centralize on Coruscant. Started training Padawans on Coruscant so they would prevent the uprising of the Sith again. And I think it's because of that, right, that the Sith and the Shadows could, potentially manipulate
about
them
the galaxy
at that, right? Because then we learn in Living Force that Palpatine's doing just that, at least by that time. Kind of like closing down
Palpatine,
shops and stuff.
he does the best thing that Palpatine is good at, which is he sees a flaw in the Jedi Order, which is the fact that they're letting these things close, and then he's like, let's speed that process up. Let's get them all closed. And,
Bro, that moment at the end, I was sitting. They sometimes name drop characters, so they name drop General Veers before he's a general, which I thought
that was a crazy cameo. By the way, that was
like so interesting.
Man.
And then they. And then they named, like, no one asked for that, by the way, and they just gave it to us. This is great. Yeah, I loved it. And then they gave us Palpatine, because obviously he's still a young, like, up and coming senator. That makes sense that he's here. And I was like, okay, cool, Palpatine's here. It's Star Wars. It's a connected universe. That's great. And then right at the end of the book, when everything is resolved, you get the old archive guy who's been leaking stuff, and like there's something actually that's going on there, and he has a call with a strange hooded figure, and then he dies. And I'm like, whoa, actually Palpatine makes a bigger appearance in this book than I originally anticipated. He wasn't just a cameo, he's actually still the puppet behind the scenes pulling all of the strings, and that was some incredible fulfillment for me. I really, really like that.
One of the things that really like stuck out to me or got me really hooked in the book was the very beginning. Was Qui-Gon, the quick lesson between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan on that ship, when they give some food to a kid and people are like, well, do you have extra food for all of us, or do you have and so he has to explain, like, there are so much more ramifications for every actions that we have, that sometimes just giving them something isn't going to be the answer. That might cause more issues for more people down the and like anyway, it just
that opening also is the perfect like the point of the book, but like compartmentalized, because like that ship is going to get hijacked or whatever. There's like the criminals on there, and just the presence of Jedi stops that whole situation. That's kind of what like the temple thing is about, that like whenever the Jedi aren't around, those sectors get worse.
And that's why it was so genius. It's a mini version of the book you're about to read, compressed, and so like you're already like cognitively primed. I don't know.
It also kind of like confirms your suspicions about like the Jedi that have been in the past set up to be either fall guys or like conspirators in some way, shape, or form. When I'm reading about how there was one seeker who just like did not follow protocol at all when it came to recruitment. And,
Sifo.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, it must have been Sifo Dyas." I'm like, "Fuck!" Jeez.
And I mean,
how many times have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I think like by the end of Dooku Jedi Lost, he's having so many visions of the Jedi dying and failing, and he's seeing the actual future, and he just snaps and is like, I need to start getting Jedi in this order now.
Which I wonder, because originally, so in George Lucas's like notes or whatever, Sifo Dyas was going to be a Sith Lord before before Dooku, and then that ended up not happening. But like, I wonder if it's set up to where some of the stuff could have also been puppeteered by Palpatine, just indirectly with making him do stuff to set things up.
He's all about finding those cracks and manipulating them. I mean, Sifo could have been having, like Gage said, a lot of visions and like being scared shitless about like the implications. And Palpatine's like, yes.
Correct me if I'm
Speaking
wrong.
of finding cracks and manipulating him, Agent Kolar has some game.
Or you mean Eth?
Jesus Christ.
Or Eth, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, because that sets up he in the Vader comic left the Order and got married.
Yeah.
At some point, like during the Clone Wars. So like, this book sets up like, hey, this guy, like, he's already faltering a little bit.
He was waiting for that opportunity.
I have so many quotes. I highlight moments that I love from the book, and one of them is that when Uriel's mouth hung open as he watched him go, but Yoda made little of it. A woman Eth knows. Uriel Gork, Eth knows a woman. I said that I just did. It's not quite the same.
I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Sifo knew Palpatine too, so what you said, Pep, might be true. I think in Dooku Jedi Lost, Sifo introduces Dooku to Palpatine, if I remember right. But I haven't read that book in a long time, so
It's been
be
a
worth
long
revisiting. Yaro Poof just mind tricking
that
the
book,
same
there's a-
guard over and over again.
Yeah.
Was that gave me so much like life.
They are the funniest. I'm such a fan of humanizing characters that you only see so little of when you watch them on the screen, and I think the kind of the insight that we got into each Jedi Master and making them all so individual as well, and they all have their own approaches to problems, and they're so diverse as a council. It's very easy to lump the Jedi Council into one authoritative body of they all feel the same about this and they all have the same approach, because they don't really speak a lot in the movies, or when they get a lot of screen time, unless they're like the main ones like Yoda, obviously, or Windu.
They've always voted. They've never.
The
Phantom Menace has Yoda being like, the council said this. I don't give a fuck. I disagree.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. but that's the thing. Like, you don't get to go into their thought processes, because that's not what the story is about. And I get that. This is what this story is about, and that's amazing. It's so cool that someone thought about this and went, I think it's important to humanize and to at least explore the way that the people that are the leaders of this giant order that is supposed to touch every corner of the galaxy, what they think about stuff and how they approach things. And the main point of the book is literally explained in, like, it's on page 4, says my Kindle. It says the structure that turns younglings into Jedi Knights also tends to isolate them, and that could give them the wrong idea about their place in the galaxy, which is basically the plot of the book, in that the Jedi, in what they have done and how they've chosen to align themselves with institutions and within themselves, has caused them to break away from the people that they are supposed to look after and engage with on a very grassroots level. The Jedi are not... What? Yes, very much so. And it's not that centralized government is necessarily a problem. It's the way the government itself is organized. If you have a republic that is organized the way that it is, with the flaws that allowed Palpatine to rise up and take control of it, and you have a Jedi that aligns themselves with them, not because of any innate way that they've organized the government, but because they are simply the government of the galaxy. They didn't really go beyond that. They just allied themselves with them. That centralizes the Jedi Order, which is not what they're supposed to be. The government can be, but when you have the Jedi Order that are supposed to touch everyone on a grassroots level, they're supposed to stay grassroots. So when these outposts start closing, it becomes a real problem, because it hits the Jedi at the heart of who they're supposed to be, which is grassroots community workers.
The book came out...
I'm also thinking about before the Rusan reformations. There's always cracks. I mean, honestly, like, even when they're not centralized and they have enclaves on different planets, like, you'll just have like a freaking covenant. What's her name? Drea or something? Just create the covenant to not Treya.
Dre, like Lucian Dre and the Dre line.
You just create a splinter order that just hunts down Sith and kills a bunch of Padawans. And I'm like, well, you could be centralized or not decentralized, but you still can't like keep an eye on everybody that's claiming to. But
there is no.
Well,
there is no single response though. Sorry, Gage, go on. Yeah,
I was gonna say the High Republic. I said this book came out at the perfect time because the High Republic had just come out and shown how good decentralized works for the Jedi. Because when stuff is going wrong in this sector of the galaxy, they can immediately respond to it. The start of the High Republic is a giant disaster that, because Jedi are already in that sector of the galaxy, they immediately can come help. But they talk about in that same disaster where they're like, if this was from Coruscant, it would have been over before anyone got here. And then this book is basically like, hey, you just read all about those High Republic Jedi and how they're in touch with the people and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to the prequels. Look how we're losing that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to describe it. The question is not whether the Order as a whole should be centralized or decentralized and how they should consolidate their power. The question should be where, in which elements of the Jedi should be centralized or decentralized. I think not on which planet, Pep. Yes, I know Tython's a cool planet. I mean, in which areas of their jurisdiction? What policies do the Jedi have as an order that deserve to be universally applied to all Jedi to prevent something like the Covenant during the Golden Age of the Jedi? And then what elements of the Jedi policy could be more spread out and allowed to be given self-determination on their various worlds that they exist? And that balance is what really would create a quote-unquote perfect Jedi Order, the ideal Jedi. Of course, and then, it wouldn't be Star Wars if it was an ideal Jedi Order.
Now that I think about it, isn't there also along with what Gage was saying and the Seekers? Is Typho,
wait, what?
In Dooku Jedi Lost, isn't there a problem with the Seeker protocol as well? Is Typho just fucking up all of the Seeker protocols during this time? Is he being
he's not a Seeker in Jedi Lost.
No, but I think. What was the name of that Seeker?
No, I don't really. There wasn't. I mean, there was the one Jedi Master who had a kid and then pretended to find them.
Hey.
Nice.
But I don't think. I wouldn't say that's an issue with the Seeker protocol. It's
Yeah, I mean, we know the Seeker protocol is normally just your kid's force sensitive. Cool if we take him, and the parents yeah, and then they take the kid, or it's no, and then they don't. I don't think there was too much wiggle room with that, as opposed to what Sifo Dyas was doing, which was borderline kidnapping kids and separating them from the family they shouldn't be separated from.
Well, there was also the other half of the protocol, which is
to set up the family.
Yeah, they set up the family.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cal4 for the $3 super sticker.
I've been here the whole time.
I love the Living Force specifically talked about the Jedi's youngling policy as well, and who they take away from families and who they don't. And as soon as they realize the main antagonist, God, I can't remember her name, but as soon as they realize something with a Z, until further notice, as soon as they realized that she didn't have a family to take away from and she was actually an orphan and she had bonds there, all of the Jedi Masters were like, that's weird, we shouldn't have done that. What do you mean? The Jedi don't do that kind of thing. And she was like, well, someone did. And they did this investigation, who could have done this? And it turns out, guess who it is? The same fucking guy.
Ironically, we were talking about the Jedi Covenant, same author as this book. Wow. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Legends author, but he wrote the KOTOR comic. So.
John Jackson Miller?
I feel like I need to read more of this guy's work, honestly.
Yeah, my favorite. He's my favorite Legends Star Wars author. He just hasn't had a ton of canon work. But
his also his Obi-Wan book, so
Kenobi,
good.
Very good, very good.
That. But this is a book I think everyone should read, and once you read it, I think it recontextualizes the prequels. Once you understand the Jedi, you know what I mean? You can't hate Ki-Adi-Mundi as much when you realize he's just autistic.
It's the only Ki-Adi-Mundi appearance where I'm not tearing my ears off listening to him speak, because it's entertaining.
Speaks the truth. Listen to him.
I mean, I still hate him. It's just an understanding hate. I understand.
I don't even understand him. I think he's funny in the book, but he's still
the wiki. No, the Syrian species has 2 brains. Nah, man,
and he's using neither of them.
That's what. No, I fully agree. I actually thought of. I had this thought while I was reading his scenes in the book, and I was like, difficulty in engaging in social situations and missing some cues that the Jedi around him are not missing. My alarm bells went off a little bit.
It adds up with how he talks, because those council meetings are just they're all talking about one thing, and then he just pipes up and is like, no. Where Yoda's like, I'm pretty sure I heard Qui-Gon's voice. Yeah. Didn't you hear Qui-Gon's voice on Mortis, Anakin? What's that deal? And then Ki-Adi-Mundi pipes up and is just like, yeah, that doesn't happen.
I mean,
And it's like, buddy, we're like talking here, like.
Didn't you see the deleted scenes in the Phantom Menace? Like Yoda says, "Hard to see the dark side is," and then Ki-Adi-Mundi is like, "Nah, pretty sure they're extinct."
Yeah,
they're extinct. I haven't seen one.
Hey,
Kyber Carter, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, third super on the live.
Zalastra, by the way, is the
Zalastra.
I literally just saw that. Yeah, Zalastra.
It's confusing because High Republic also has an antagonist who is separated at birth as a result of a Jedi taking away a person, and their name also starts with, I think, a Z as well.
Morala?
Or their last name starts with Z. It's the Phase 2 villain. She goes by a title the whole time, but her real name ends with a Z because her sister is a character you know the whole time, and then it's like, but.
It's wild how that's
which is also a storyline in SWTOR.
Yeah, strange how we keep coming back to that. We keep talking about mistakes where the Jedi take children away where they shouldn't have. I'm not trying to rage bait anyone in this chat by talking about.
It's a thousand. Yeah, it's a thousand authors trying to be like, people get it through your head. They don't kidnap. It's not supposed to be like this. Like notice how
that's the thing. It's a disconnect with like reading comprehension, right? Like, I feel like the number one misunderstanding of the Jedi is that they're always seen as a monolith. Right? But you think about like Ki-Adi-Mundi, why was he invited to this council? Because he seemed like he thought differently. You could see that about somebody who's autistic. It's like, oh, they have some interesting perspectives. Let's bring them in. Qui-Gon Jinn wholly disagrees with everybody. Come on in. Right?
Yeah.
And that's another
I
duel
love
of
that
the
they do
fates
that.
because Qui-Gon should have joined.
This book has one of my favorite Qui-Gon playing the council moments where he goes to Yoda beforehand and is like, I've noticed we're not in with the crowd anymore. Like we're kind of losing our way here. And Yoda's like, you know what, Qui-Gon, you're right. But if I say it, they're not actually gonna like believe it. They're just gonna want to listen to me because I'm in charge. Go to Mace and tell him you have this great idea, and then Mace will come and push it to them. I think it's real. I think that whole scene is very funny where Mace is like, no, Qui-Gon, you're right. Let me go tell him. And then in reality, Yoda in the meeting's like, man, you're right, Mace. Like, I love that.
I also love it. I also love it because there's this like ideology that that Qui-Gon and the Jedi are at odds with each other, and it's like, no. Qui-Gon calls him out, and then they're like, yeah, you're right.
Sometimes they're like, you're right, but we can't do anything about it. Like that happened in Master and Apprentice. Qui-Gon wanted to free a bunch of slaves, and Yoda was like, well, if you free all the slaves, then Zerka stops working, and then this place loses its trade, and this planet falls apart, and like we want to free the slaves, but like can't be doing it.
Didn't actually come.
Yeah, they're like. They're like, do you know how much political power we need to accomplish what you want to do? Like, you're not wrong, but
shout out to Cal for it. Thank you for the $5 ramen drop. Deploy the likes as usual, you monsters.
If we have a galaxy that some sectors run on slaves, something is very deeply wrong. And I am of the opinion that the Jedi, especially the aforementioned grassroots sectors of them, should be the ones who maybe decide, you know what, let's stop trying to win political battles and just do stuff and then see what happens. And I think the idea that I know this is a slippery slope, and there are some like extreme examples where sure that wouldn't apply, but I think the idea that when people say things like, yeah, okay, the Jedi will do something, and then when they get involved, then some complications can happen because of that. We shouldn't forget that. Let's talk in the slavery example. If you free slaves and then the kind of economic consequences of that affect other people, that's not your fault. That's because the foundation was built on slavery. And it's not your fault that the bad things are happening because you freed slaves. It's the slavery's fault, you know?
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. But I just want to remember, like, because they did that, right? They destroyed the entire Zygerian slave like architecture and all of this stuff. There were certain pockets and places where they would try to redefine things in order to slip stuff through the cracks, and there was areas like that where, again, you would just have to consider what your moves are. But they absolutely would, and had they stayed with the outposts, that would have done a lot more, because what you would have had is Jedi in each spot preventing these things from taking place. But the example I always come back with is that the Jedi are largely first responders. When something goes wrong, they're the ones who step in or communicate, navigate.
But then
they can't always fix the problem. Sometimes you need political power to fix a problem. That's why I actually think Dooku was right for saying, "Hey, there are things I want to fix that I cannot fix as a Jedi. I'm going to leave and do my own thing."
Yeah.
And the Jedi were like, "Yeah, man, do it." Like, they weren't mad at him,
Yeah. It was only
Yoda told him that
they were like, "Wait a minute."
Yoda told him to keep his lightsaber. He was like, "You're not a Jedi anymore, but you still can use this for good." Like,
But then some due consideration needs to be made that some things can't be solved with political power, right? And so I got a comment. I got a comment about going back to Free Shmi, and they were like, "Yeah, well, one." And I made a point to say is like that wasn't their mission. Like Qui-Gon says, "I didn't come here to free slaves." They were on mission already, and then they were like, "Well, they should have gone back after the fact and tried to free her." It's like, with what? Because it's still Hutt space. That's not a central government you can negotiate with. Republic Dectaries don't work there. Their currency doesn't work. It's like, who are you negotiating with at that point for Tatooine?
Yeah.
Also, the person who knew where she was dead.
That's true. Not to mention the other person who knew where she was sends someone to go free her, and then she's gone already. So it's like,
this is why I think the Jedi shouldn't, or those people who are willing to act to do something good should not stop at the one act. If you're going to free slaves, don't stop at freeing slaves. Go further and dismantle the system. Otherwise, slaves are going to be created again. So it's like if you
not only again, but you'll make life worse for everyone
possibly
else
worse.
There.
Yeah. So that's why I say when I talk about freeing slaves, I am specifically talking about also ending the conditions that create them. In the same way that I have when we talk. It actually very interestingly ties into the vigilante question, especially the MCU vigilantes. Things like there was a very famous TV show argument between Daredevil and Punisher about like whether we should kill them or whether we shouldn't, and I'm like,
greatest conversation ever.
Neither of those things. I fall on the side of Daredevil is assuming that the system works and churns out like better people at the end. Meanwhile, the rate of recidivism is like 95% in some places, meaning people who go inside prison are going to come out again and repeat the same stuff because prison is not a conducive environment to rehabilitation. And then Punisher is going, now we should just kill them. And sure, I mean, I guess that reduces the rate of recidivism, but it still doesn't resolve the underlying problem. No one is trying to do that. Everyone is trying to solve things up here. And it's the same thing if we want to now apply that to Star Wars. If you're going to free slaves, that's up here. It has a real impact on people's lives, yes, but then it's going to make more slaves if you don't fix what's under here.
Does that actually reduce the rate of recidivism, or does that just reduce the sample size?
Exactly, but it's still going to create more criminals. That's what I mean. So but you're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. So Frank Castle going on a murderous rampage reduces the amount of criminals in that time, and then 10 years later more criminals are created because he didn't do anything to fix the conditions that create criminals in the first place. And even then, and that's even before we go into the moral argument of whether killing people is correct because they've committed crimes. Like, that's a whole separate thing. The point is, you should never stay here. You should always go here. Should always be underneath. There's a foundation for everything.
The point is, if you reduce the poverty level that induces a lot of people into crime in the first place, then that would be the way to start.
Yeah. Do you know what's there's a great story that ties into this and the Jedi grassroots thing. There's a short story in the High Republic where a Jedi named Loden and his Padawan land on this planet, and the planet is at war, and all the places on the planet hate each other, and the people all want to kill each other. And they get there. No. I don't remember the name of the planet. It wasn't like significant, but Bell is like, Master, why are we bothering with this? There's no way we can do anything here. They hate Jedi. Like, they're not going to listen to us. And the first night, they go to town and they go into this bar, and then Loden just asks the bartender, he's like, buy a round of drinks for everyone in here. And then he does it, and then he's like, tries to pay with Republic credits, and the bartender's like, nah. And then Loden's like, okay, how can we make ourselves useful? He starts fixing stuff around the bar, and he helps out, and they leave, and they go to make camp, and all these people come to kill them. And he blocks all the blaster shots back without killing any of them, and is like, hey, we can do this all night, but if I start to get tired, some of these blaster bolts might hit you. So stop. And then he goes back to the town the next day. All the people who wanted to kill him are still in the bar. And he basically makes himself like a pillar of the community, where he helps the people at the bar, then he goes and helps somewhere else, and then he goes and helps somewhere else, and that's all he's doing. And his Padawan's like, what are we doing here? We're just wasting time. Yeah. And slowly, like, by doing that, he's not like in the government or anything, but he's set an example to these people that like Jedi are good and Jedi should be liked and Jedi can help. So then they believe in this, like, we should stop fighting thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because he's so like,
it goes.
He's
Sounds
not
like Daryl Davis.
Yeah, he's not like
he's the black dude.
The conflict, and he's just like.
Yeah. Sorry, Daryl Davis is a black dude who keeps befriending members of the KKK, and he's gotten like 200 of them to leave so far.
Shout out to Red
but you're like
on TikTok.
That's a full-time job though, man.
I mean, related to all of that, it's just like small acts of kindness, and we think about like think about also like, you know, with all of my recent videos about Anakin, like there's always like these arguments that for special treatment as well, and it goes hand in hand with what we're discussing right now. Is like, okay, let's say you go to Tatooine with a small contingent of Jedi, and then you do free those slaves on Tatooine. What about everybody else on Hutt space? You've created resentment, like you've created this pocket where someone could say, well, they didn't free us. When are they going to come to free us? Right?
Yeah.
And then when people argue about, yeah, and when people argue for special treatment to Anakin, first of all, they're already giving him special treatment, but you're asking because they're like, oh, because he has trauma and he comes from being a slave. It's like, you're assuming that everybody else and all of the other younglings don't come from similar circumstances. Like, you're assuming all of the other younglings are like nepo babies and like they come from generational wealth. Like, no, most of the recruits that the Jedi recruit are like orphans and people that they find that need that shelter.
They just left Dooku outside. They're just like, hey, whatever, dude.
So
his dad literally left. He put a sticky note on him that said "freak" and just like dropped it at the house. Like,
so I'm
what you've highlighted.
Listen, I get it. You know, Anakin has traumas. He came from being a slave, but that doesn't mean you ignore every other youngling that possibly has past traumas that they're dealing with too. You know. They're already joking with him about the Chosen One prophecy and heckling him.
I do think the other Padawans do have the benefit, though, that when the Master is picking them, they have all of that in mind, and like they know of the candidate they're picking, or like the Master gets chosen for the Padawan, like for the specific reason. While like with Obi-Wan, it was kind of just like, hey, I got him. He doesn't like Obi-Wan isn't choosing Anakin because he like can work around those attachment issues or like knows how to handle it. He's just like, I gotta do it.
I also think that Qui-Gon should never have told. Nobody should ever have told Anakin he was the Chosen One.
Nope, not once.
Yeah.
Right.
It goes to his head.
Like, well,
it was kind of an accident.
Did he actually tell him like when we first met?
No. He just mentioned he actually keeps the whole Jedi thing like very hidden from Anakin when they're talking. Like he tests his blood and Anakin's like, what's that for? And he's like, oh, I'm just checking you for an infection. Like he's very like hiding it. The Chosen One thing only comes out because the council is like, we're not training him. And then Qui-Gon in that moment is like, I gotta fight them on this. And then he's like, come on, he's the Chosen One. But he doesn't. Yeah, but Anakin doesn't know what that means until very later.
Yeah. But to go in regards, just very quick, in regards to like the complexities of doing what they need to do, it just makes me think of season 7 of the Clone Wars when Ahsoka is like, hey, come to Mandalore and get Maul because he's ruling Mandalore and it's really bad. And then they're like, there's literally a war happening over Coruscant right now that we're on our way to. And she's like, what? You guys don't... and they're like, I just don't know that we can send an army to a neutral spot of the galaxy to depose the ruler that you guys chose. And what like... It's... I don't know, the whole thought process is like, I get it as a Star Wars fan, and I'm like, this is a bad guy. But you're like, you also, like, we have a treaty, and even Obi-Wan's like, we need to finish the war we're in before we start.
I will say, they did not choose Maul, for one thing. That was like the terrorist organization Death Watch took over Mandalore, and those guys chose Maul.
Oh, yes.
Listen,
Maul was not democratically elected.
But also, I think I'm more on Ahsoka's team in that argument because it's Coruscant that's under attack. It's like, there's already, like, that's the place where you don't really need extra Jedi to be jumping in. It's kind of odd to me in general that the Chancellor is taken and they call Anakin and Obi-Wan. That one they're all away. While we know for a fact, at least, I mean, Mace Windu's on Coruscant when I always find it weird in general they call Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Man.
Yeah,
it's true. And his
He was
droid,
a baller.
His Padawan's pretty cool.
But Karpashin's a fanboy and had to make Malgus like.
The point of the kind of resolution for all of this, I don't think that the answer to the snowball effect that's been mentioned from everyone here and from Kyber Carter, I've just been reading their comment as well.
Go ahead and read.
Appreciate your Kyber Carter.
Say you got every Jedi on board to free all the slaves on Tatooine, you'd be starting another galactic war with the Hutts, and other factions in Tatooine probably would do more harm than good in that process. To be clear, since Nuance is dead, still very anti-slavery even in Star Wars, but interesting to think about what snowball effect would happen there. And I agree, there are complications for actions that you take. The Jedi are very keenly aware of this, and in The Living Force, there's a little full circle moment, they talk about this a lot. They talk about the kind of complications that happen from the things they do and how they need to be very careful. But that is not a dismissal of whether or not you should act. You should act. The question is how, not whether. If we talk about a problem like homelessness, the problem is not whether or not we should end homelessness. It's how do we end homelessness. The whether or not should not be a debate. Whether or not we should end slavery is not a question. We should. How should we do it is a thing. And who should be doing it is also a thing.
We should tie corporate subsidies to investment in public housing. Seriously, there's a lot of there's a lot of policies that are super popular with that side because no taxes or corporate loopholes. Tie all of that in to public policy. And get it funded.
The irony of this book is that it's all about the Jedi being like, we need to get in touch with these people. And them visiting that planet has such a gigantic positive effect. But then they're also like, all right, we successfully closed the temple. Or let's head back. Like, they don't it doesn't spur them to be like, no, we need to do this more. Like, that's kind of the irony of the book is that it is a big showing of the Jedi Council being like, hey, we've blown it. We're not in line with the people. But then this book is a perfect example of how, yes, you're not in line with the people. But then they're like, by the end of the book, they accept the temple's closing. They don't try and Palpatine's manipulating it, but they're just like, yep, it's done. We did our job,
And it did feel fitting, though, that one of the answers that they did come to that was good was Yoda being like, maybe us ancient folk should step aside and let some of these younger people lead because they might have good ideas. And I feel like that might be useful in places.
Yep.
Couldn't imagine where.
AOC 28.
There's another thing that is really important about what the Jedi do is that they don't just go in and save the day and then
the
leave.
dead turtle in the Senate. Oh, sorry.
Even though the very well described irony of this book is that they still stay here. Yes, they go and do some grassroots stuff, but then they don't understand how that should be what they should be doing more, and they just go back to what they were doing before, which is really frustrating, but also emblematic of where the Jedi is at this point in their time.
Yeah.
But one of the best things that they talk about is how they are not trying to be the superheroes of the galaxy, which I am vehemently opposed to. They are enablers. They are educators of people to become their own superheroes. No one is coming to save you all the time, right? The Jedi can't be everywhere at once, logistically impossible. What their job is to enable you to realize that you have power on your own. And there are lots of quotes about this. Thing is, one of my favorite things is about one of my favorite ones is about the Force. And it says, who said this? Is it? Hang on a second.
While you
it
find
was
that,
Yaddle. The Yaddle. I found it. the Yaddle chapter was great. I love learning about Yaddle. And she said, the Force exists for everyone because it is everyone. The Jedi, some think we are favored because we have a closer relationship, but all we do is ride the wind, the air, the sun. That's everyone else. And it's really, it's a wonderful way to describe how the Jedi just interact with the Force in a certain way, but the Force exists everywhere. And to apply that to real life, the power to effect change also exists everywhere. And there's no single person who's going to get on a pedestal and say, I have the solutions to all your problems, which is what a lot of media teaches us is how it happens. What happens in real life is more people kind of come together and decide we are going to do something together. That power still exists.
And
MJ.
That leads to the Rise of Skywalker, where it was
That's
just
true.
Yeah, there are more of us. Yeah, absolutely.
MJ, I need you. I beg of you. I beg of this one favor. You need to pick up Light of the Jedi and read the first 10 chapters of it.
Okay.
For the start of the High Republic.
I want to get into the High Republic. I really do. I really do.
That era is literally they elect a leader who her motto is "We are all the Republic," and it actively changes. Cool. People are making sacrifices and just for the betterment of other people. Everyone comes together. It's not just the Jedi doing it, but the Jedi heighten it obviously.
But that's the crux of it all, right? Is we need to affect change as a people, right? Because if we think about starting war with the Hutts over slavery, the Jedi, if they scrambled and mustered all of their ranks, they would be 10,000 against what the Hutts employ in the millions of enforcers. And you're like, well, shit. And that kind of puts into perspective how the single
But we can't let the Hutts have a nuclear weapon.
But it puts into perspective that the small resistance could not defeat the Final Order. So they needed the galaxy. They just needed people.
Yeah.
To rise.
They needed people. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that is why I love the Jedi. That's actually why I started making content, because I felt like by lifting other people up, you can make a difference. Yeah. It goes along with Yaddle's quote in that book about courage leads to peace, peace leads to love, and love leads to healing. And then it also ties into in the Last Jedi, Luke thinks that the Jedi need to end, but the thing he's missing is that, yes, he is a man, but the legend of Luke Skywalker inspires so much good in the galaxy that his final act is what lights that spark that leads to the scene in Rise of Skywalker. And I just love that it's this. It's just this compounding thing about your role is to kind of be a backstop to prevent the worst of the worst from happening. Yeah. But especially when they are acting locally, and by investing in those people locally and helping build those people and showing them a better way to do things, that is how you ultimately win and increase the light,
Yeah. And even though in the real world, the problems that we need to fix are a little less glamorous than blowing up enemy ships with laser swords and blasters, which would be fun, granted. If you're looking for stories of where this kind of media is reflected in real life, they are everywhere, of people coming together to, just because it's the right thing to do, to build something in record time. One really, really good example for an incredibly large country is China, who built high-speed rail in 20 years across the country. They had nothing 20 years before they started high-speed rail, and they did that. The government didn't do that on their own. They enabled it, but the people came together and decided we need this, we need these connections, we need this to happen, and so they did, and so it happened. And that's not the only one. There are examples all over the world of people coming together just for the purpose of collective nation building or and not because there was any kind of latent profit at the end of it. Some people didn't even see the fruits of their labors. They just did it because they realized that this is what they wanted the world to look like, and they made it happen. And
I'm sorry, you were almost quoting Qui-Gon Jinn there. That was pretty cool.
Wait, which quote?
That's why the Chinese are 20 years ahead in electric vehicles.
In many ways, yeah. Which Qui-Gon quote were you talking about, Choco?
Oh, it's from a different book. It's from Master and Apprentice. But he's
okay.
like, I don't turn towards the light because it means someday I'll win some sort of cosmic game.
Amazing.
I turn towards it because it is the light.
Because that's what it is. Inherently, it's worth turning towards. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. There's also another story that we can look
Qui-Gon
to.
was I'm a big fan of
to
big
witness
fan of
the power of just a small group of people coming together to effect change
I see
in a
that
galaxy.
non-sequitur.
One can hope, right?
Hey, this is Justin.
See that
Great to
segue.
see you.
What story is that?
Indeed. What story is that? Indeed, a story where a group of people can effect an as of yet unseen amount of change, because we'll have to see how the campaign turns out. For those of you who are confused, I run a series of tabletop campaigns, and I posed a question to Pep and Choco where I made them battle it out for a single spot on my four-player tabletop group, which is playing in the Star Wars galaxy, and Choco made it very unfun and backed out really quickly, leaving Pep available.
I really wish I could do it.
I know, but
really
again, I made you battle it out because and I didn't. I just asked who was available, but because I have a hard limit at 4 because in all my years of tabletop I've only had 6. I've had 6 before, and it's really hard.
It takes a lot of time per session, just going through everyone's turns.
It really does, yeah. So I have a hard cap at 4, and I had 1 slot open, and so Pep has decided to join our campaign. Yay! It's a mini campaign. It runs for just about 2 months, but we start our session 0 in like 24 hours. So same time that Dyad starts tomorrow, we'll be starting with our session 0. It's a little peek behind the curtain if you want to see what the characters are like and the kind of system we're playing with. We're going to do a little rule simulation so you can familiarize yourself. One Can Hope as a project is something that's meant to be a fun tabletop adventure in both a world that I've created, and then we alternate between that and Star Wars. We've just finished our first Aya campaign, which is the name of the world that I made, and then we're going into Star Wars now, and then the next one will be Aya again. It's meant to be both, yes, fun tabletop, and also it's a mechanism to learn and to have cool communication. And we have a little Discord community as well if you want to join that. And we just kind of I've always been a fan of using hobbies as reflections of how to learn something that we can apply in real life. So how to learn to be better people, or how to play tabletop has helped me a lot as a person. And I think tabletop that is done well has a vast array of lessons to teach all of us if you play it right. Sometimes people play tabletop just to hit monsters with a funny sword, and that's cool too. Like, that's totally valid. I've done plenty of that. It's great. But I really also love the kind of basically group therapy that tabletop can also be, and it helps you unlock qualities in yourself that you wish were there. It helps you explore qualities without the real world consequences that you wanted to explore. It helps you interact with people. It helps you be better at speaking. It helps you be braver in social situations. It's so cool. It's just this amazing hobby that I could talk about for years. And so here we are.
Are we streaming the session 0?
Indeed we are. We are on YouTube.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we're right here.
tomorrow at 6 p.m. Could you type in the channel?
Should I do it in chat?
Yeah.
In the YouTube chat?
Yep.
I will do it.
Go and put it in there.
I'm on the
Also,
One Can Hope account right now.
Side note, Gage, I'm happy to see your place is coming along.
It's getting there. I've still got a lot.
Did you just move?
Sort of. There was the first time I was ever on stream. It was a stack to the ceiling of cardboard boxes and like bins behind me.
So now you got the
Whoa! What a cool
shelves.
change.
We got Galaxy's Edge droid, and then the KOTOR omnibus is right next to it. But I haven't unpacked all my books and stuff.
Did
so.
you build that droid yourself? Is that a Galaxy's Edge droid, like you said?
It is.
That's cool as hell. I live
Is
way
our-
too far away for that kind of stuff.
Is our episode 1 also next week, same time?
Yes. Yeah. We're on every Saturday night at 9 p.m. EST. But I live in Korea, so for me it's 10 a.m. Sunday KST. But that's a reasonable time for me, so I'll be here. And hope that some of you will be here as well.
The following week, we'll be in, not we, but me and Choco will be in Rebel Scum Con.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So I think it's going to be this, and then session 1, and then we'll break for the 9th or the 8th for you guys, and then we'll come back on the next one. Basically, it's going to be it's not going to be 2 months specifically. It's just going to be 8 sessions. So it's going to be a session 0 and then 8 sessions, and we'll see how much story we can tell in 8 sessions. And since Pep really made an interesting segue as to what we were talking about, whether some small people can make a big difference. This campaign centers around a very dark period where the government and organizations that are supposed to be there to protect and help and serve and do all these things are gone. It's during the Old Republic era, post-Jedi Purge. The Jedi are all but extinct. It's post-KOTOR 2, if you've played KOTOR 2.
Oh, excellent.
It's about 3 years after the Battle of Malachor, where Mitra Surik faces off the final of the Sith Triumvirate and defeats them, and then disappears in a pattern that Revan started and is frustratingly repeated. And the Jedi are all but gone, trying to rebuild, and really not a presence in the galaxy right now. Some people still have to get the memo that the bounty on Jedi is off, because word doesn't travel that fast in the Outer Rim, and the Republic is on its last thread and still desperately trying to repair itself. And so this period of time in the galaxy belongs to people who usually hide behind governments and write rules within them that exempt them from certain things and allow them to do shady things, and that is the corporations. And this period of the galaxy belongs to them. Very specifically, one large one called Zerka, which you should have heard. Me and all my homies hate Zerka Corporation, and we're going to be exploring their influence as we go through this short campaign. Obviously,
that's the one Qui-Gon wanted to free the slaves from. Ironically, that we were talking about earlier.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. And so since based off of everything that we have talked about, if you want to pick up a second Star Wars book, I'm just going to say Master and Apprentice.
Also very good.
Okay, well, I've already been put onto the High Republic, so you're going to have to compete. I'm going to go High Republic.
Go High Republic first.
Maybe I'll read them both. It's fine. I'll read them both.
Listen, go in chronological order. Start in the High Republic, end up in Master and Apprentice.
The Living Force, I think, is the last one when it was written in the canon, because it gives you in the table of contents, it gives you like a list of like, hang on. I think I...
Master Apprentice
might be the last of
Master
the High
Apprentice
Republic.
would follow. Would be like the next story after.
What would
Living
follow
Force.
from the Living Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be for like adult novels and young adult novels. It would be Master and Apprentice.
Oh, okay.
I'd also like to lobby that if we do end up continuing from our mini campaign, I lobby that Choco be brought in.
Oh, I definitely. Everyone is welcome. If there's a slot open in the 4 and you have like tabletop experience, even if you don't. I mean, like I said, we're very education based. So if there's a spot open and you wanna jump in, I'm very open to an interview or two, and to figure out if you're down. But yeah, Choco, I gave you the invite. The invite's always there. You just gotta take it. We are dividing. We are dividing into American and European time zones, though, because of me and my inconvenient location. The American time zone I can make because it's in my morning, and then the European time zones I can make because it's in my evening and the European afternoon. But if we do, the European time zone is stupidly early in the American morning, and the American time zone is stupidly early in the European morning. So we divide. So we can only have the Western corridor time zones at one time, and then we have the Central corridor time zones at one time as well. And right now it's
how
an American
early is
one.
it?
For me right now?
No, how early would it be in European time zone?
It'd be like 3, 4 in the morning, maybe later. Yeah.
I mean, that's doable on Saturdays for me. I'm like awake already.
If you think you can do it, then we can talk. I don't think we'll be coming back to Star Wars after this one for 2, because we're doing Star Wars now, and then we're doing Aya next, and the party after that showed a real bias towards Aya, so they're going to do Aya as well. So we might come back to Star Wars a little bit later.
Sure.
Alternatively, we could do one-shots. That's always a possibility. So we could run a couple of one-shots in the same universe. Yeah. With it being very quickly, last thing. With it being a 2-month campaign, we're not going to like destroy Zerka in 2 months. It's just a little window into. So, depending on how ambitious our players are, it's just a little window into the kind of small acts that can make a bigger difference, and the kind of things that people can do if they are brave enough. And that's it. Yes, Choco.
Oh, I'm just being selfish and trying to make you a Star Wars book reader. I just wanted to say, like,
go on.
I mean, the natural continuation of what you read would probably be Master and Apprentice, but
okay.
I feel like you would eat up Leia Bloodlines.
That's
I feel
another
like
good-
I
that's
feel like
another
you'd
good
be.
one.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I mean, it's a straight up political thriller.
Let's
it
go.
leads well into the sequel era if you enjoy that era.
I'm frothing
at the mouth for sequel content, dude.
If we're being
I'm so
completely
excited
honest,
for more.
there is a whole host of books that you'd eat up.
Oh no, there's a lot, but I'm saying if it was up to me and I can force him to read one next, and to hear his thoughts on, it would be that one. Just
I agree.
Okay.
If you do like political stuff, there's Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. There's just a separate one. There's Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, which is like it's written as though it's in universe, and it's like a history of the Empire and how the systems allowed it to happen.
Oh, I like that.
It's written after Episode 9, so it's a guy who knows all about Palpatine, knows the whole thing, and is like,
very cool.
Here we let the corporations get too much money, and then they started messing with Naboo,
and then they got personhood.
Yeah,
like,
that's how I. That is an opinion I happen to share. I'm not a fan of the surface level. It was just one guy in a scary hood laughing really iconically, and he is responsible. So kill him, and all the problems are fixed. Yay! I don't like that. It's a little more complicated.
It's written by a historian as well, I think, or I'm pretty sure he's a historian. The guy who wrote the in-universe history book is a historian in real life.
Amazing. Very,
also
very happy
have
to give that a shot.
A title reveal, I believe.
Yes, we have something to show. Ha 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 ha! I'm very excited.
I haven't seen this myself.
Yes, this is a debut reaction for Pep, and for you if you're interested in the campaign and you wanna hang out.
All right, here we go.
Do you have it? I don't know how to share it on your end.
I'm gonna play it for the stream. I'm sharing the stream with you guys.
Let's go. Before we watch, I made it with Canva, which does have the options, the very irritating options for AI assets that they love to throw in my face at every opportunity. I used none of them. I don't like it. It's not happening. So you didn't see. There's none of that in there. And the music is from a guy you can find on YouTube called Luis Humanoid with an E on the end. I believe he is. I'm gonna say Spanish. I think he might be Mexican. But he makes a bunch of copyright-free stuff on YouTube, and he has a Pixabay where his catalog can be found, his repertoire. He is amazing. The kind of stuff you find someone who makes original music that just captures the essence of what they're trying to inspire from. That's him with Star Wars. Like he just gets it. He knows how to compose music that sounds like it comes from Star Wars. It's great. So I use that.
Also, in the future, if you ever need help with title sequences, I can help you with motion graphics.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in
mind. I do
mind.
all of our stingers.
Yeah.
That you see for like a half a second when we're switching scenes.
No, I notice them. I appreciate them. I think once you've been behind the scenes of this kind of stuff, it gives you a new appreciation for how it's made, for sure.
All right, here's the title reveal for One Can Hope. Is it not playing?
There's no sound.
Oh, there is
no sound.
Let me correct that really quick.
Take two. We've seen the title card twice now.
I've seen the galaxy.
If you've ever used Canva before, it's so frustrating nowadays. It's like, oh, you wanna Google you wanna search for a little asset. Here are 70 premium assets and 1 free one. And the free one definitely looks worse, but that's all you've got. But I managed to find
how do they do? How do they like? Feel like they make the free one worse. Like
they probably just render it at a lower pixel rate
Maybe,
and then put it out for free.
Like it feels like you would have, like it was better.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
All right, here we go.
I like it.
Best Twi'lek name ever.
What's Tater's precious? Oh snap! I like the
Here
book.
he is.
I like the text.
There he is. There's layers to this.
Nice.
Are you hyped? Are you hyped?
I am hyped.
I've been hyped since
I
the
know.
very first duality roll, and I've been talking to Choco and to Cal about it. This system is crazy.
Speaking of duality rolls, we are using the system called Daggerheart, which was created by Critical Role and their publishing company, Darrington Press. They're up for a bunch of awards this year for the Tabletop Awards. They're called the Ennies. And the second I read it since it was an open beta. The second I read about the Daggerheart system, I fell in love. It feels like a system that was written for me because of how I like to play tabletop, and it's the perfect, to me, it strikes the perfect balance between crunchy mechanics and a little bit of tactics and like story-driven mechanics as well. Like basically just let go of the rules and let the fiction kind of go where it may. And it enforces that with two dice that serve as your main dice roll. Like instead of like a d20 or a number of d10s or some d6s, there are 2 d12s that determine what happens. And one die is called your hope die, and the other one is called your fear die. Now, if you're sitting at this point and thinking, hang on, that sounds like it would be perfect for Star Wars. You're right. I thought the same. As when you roll an action roll, depending on which die is higher, you either roll with hope or you roll with fear. And you get a number as well. That determines if you succeed or fail. But sometimes your success is a success with hope. And so everything goes well and you're doing great and you can build on that momentum. And sometimes it's a success with fear and some complication happens and you do succeed at what you want to do, but something else happens in the background. And it's so cool. So cool.
Spoiler alert. If I succeed with fear, I become Mace Windu.
Yeah, one of his subclasses ability lets him do more damage when he succeeds with fear, which is a lovely little mechanical thing that's like, I'm in the shadow of darkness, but I am the light, and the fear can't hurt me because well, you'll find out who Pep is playing tomorrow.
He's spec'd into Papa, like.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's the push and pull of this system, right? Because you normally don't want to succeed with fear because that gives the environment, the enemies, like power. Yeah, I might do more damage in the moment, but like I'm watching like Critical Role's Shadowlands campaign right now, and I'm just like, the amount like when the DM has fears, shit. You know, so I'm like, I like that little system where I'm enabled through the off chance that I roll with fear, but I'm like, shit's about to happen though, you know?
Yeah. So there's this really cool, the system relies on a spotlight as its mechanic. So there's no strict initiative. People take the spotlight whenever the dice say you do. So originally it sticks with the players, And then after they do something, most of the time it goes to the GM, the GM makes a move, and then it goes back to the players, it goes back to the GM. And this happens whether or not you're in combat. So there's no real distinction of the rules with combat and out of combat. And unless the players critically succeed, or they succeed with hope, and then they get to keep going. They get to keep doing things and build on their success. The spotlight mechanic allows for a lot of tension to build up. So like when you roll with fear, it goes back to me, but I also gain a fear, which is a resource that I can use to mess with the players and introduce complications and make the story go in interesting directions. And I get 12 maximum fear, but it kind of starts small and then it builds the more you roll with fear. And if you can, everyone can see how much fear the GM has at any given time. And if it's more, it's like something big is coming, and it's like it's this really cool, natural. The mechanics inform the story in such a wonderful way. I highly recommend Daggerheart to anyone who is like interested in a new tabletop system and haven't tried it yet. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Yeah, hugely approve. Yeah. So there you go. You can join us in about 20 hours now for our sessions here, and then the next week we'll kick things off officially. Be very cool.
Happy to have you on Dyad in the Force. Same with Gage and Kenny. Thank you for calling in. Thank you to the monsters for hanging out for this long. Dyad always runs long when we're having such amazing conversation.
I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Can I
you
end
are
with
a world-class
really...
yapper, but
I'm a famous yapper. Can I end on one of my favorite quotes from Living Force?
Go.
Everyone we know is a master. You'd think we could just use people's first names. You simply want your own first name to be used. Poof is a grand and historic name among the Quirmians. It's not my fault that when it translates into basic, it sounds like the end of a magic trick. And that is that. My favorite autistic Jedi, Ki-Adi-Mundi, with Yarael Poof. A Quirmian Jedi Master who's fond of a couple of magic tricks every now and then. Mind tricks, that would be.
All right.
Cool.
Choco, any final thoughts?
It's just a wonderful time. Listen, the best time to be a Star Wars fan is always right now. I'm just saying, we got a romance book that we need to devour, but there's just stuff coming out. Especially, we got more and more sequels content, sequels era content coming out. We also have, MJ's return after he reads.
Okay. Now I'm slated to come back a few times. Every time I come back, I've read a new book.
We should give Gage something to read if he hasn't read it.
Gage has read them all, though. I would love for you to read, the Sword of Kaigan, which is the book I just finished. It's not a Star Wars book, but
that's fair.
I really enjoyed it.
How read are you on Legends?
He's pretty well read.
I'm pretty good. Old Republic got all of it. Prequel era content got most of it, I would say. The post episode 6 stuff, like I reread Thrawn Trilogy to NJO like semi recently, but Legacy and Fate was like when I was a kid pretty much, so I don't remember that stuff that well. But NJO I got about halfway through on my reread.
Gauge is tough because, also with contemporary books, each week we're talking about what's released in Star Wars land. And it comes, have you guys read this book? I'm like, that came out. So it's just
listen. You say that but when we started, we were talking High Republic books the day after they released, and we're like, we actually can't do that. We straight up didn't sleep. We just read them. We just read.
Yeah.
COVID was grand.
I made my COVID
was great for
Jedi,
introverts.
I made my Light of the Jedi video 6 a.m.
I remember I was working in this arcade when that came out, and I was reading it on the work computer, when no one was coming into the arcade, literally just standing, reading chapter after chapter. I finished it in 2 work shifts.
Yeah, it was that good.
Yeah.
Also, I have a new. Well, starting next week, I'll have a new game that I'll probably have to play and beat to release content on, but
Coming out in a month.
before it releases.
Zero Company. It's coming out in a month.
They've dropped a lot of news about it lately. It looks good.
Yeah.
What's
right.
your game, Choco, that you were talking about? Is that Racer? Wait, no, I thought Zero Company's on the 27th of August, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racer is after Zero Company, right? Or is Racer
You
before
never
Zero?
know
so.
with Choco. There's a whole bunch
Choco,
of
what game are you talking about? I must know.
Listen, there are things
Not all things you don't understand.
called embargoes.
Secret.
It's a hidden game with no marketing. It's not.
It's a game he made last night.
Oh.
Yeah, so sometimes when a game is releasing soon, they have people play the game earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right. Thank you,
That's
everyone,
very
for
cool.
tuning in. Thank you to MJ. Thank you to Gage. We'll be back next week. We'll probably cover more of what's been released in Comic-Con as it unfolds throughout the weekend, and anything else that comes out during the week next week. But that's it. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life,
For snow and for cones.
You were
we
waiting
all
for it.
Yario poof.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.